Yo,
Oh, what up?
what up, EM Tech?
I'm mowing down some dinner right now.
Oh, damn. You guys are an hour back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that would explain that you're having a late dinner. All right, man. Well, finish your dinner, man. Come on back when you're done.
That's okay. I can hang out. And I'll hang out on the stage, and I just didn't want to like have you guys listen to my chewing voice.
Yeah, do that. What do they call it? Mukbang? Is that what it's called?
I think mukbang's like a thing where you like get a bunch of food and like eat it or something.
You eat it on the mic, right?
No, that's ASMR. I think that's like some goofy ASMR. Wait, are we live right now or no?
Yeah, we're live, bro.
Oh my god. So, mukbang, also known as an eating show, is an online audiovisual broadcast in which a host consumes various quantities of food. I was like thought it was like they get like just a bunch of different kinds of food and then eat it. I don't know. I don't understand people who watch that stuff, bro. It's weird.
Oh, there's always different strokes for different folks, man. You know, stuff that I never knew existed. You know, you come across it, and you're like, "What? That's a thing?"
You know what? Yeah, the internet's a wild place.
Oh, bro. Well, so like some of this stuff existed before, but the internet created a playground. You know,
It's
it was
true.
like a chance for these flowers to grow, or in some cases, weeds. You know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I come across these community. You think like communities on YouTube or like even within the tech space, and they're so dedicated to their craft or whatever they're into.
Yeah.
Like ever since I got new router and the rack set up for my house, you go on different forums and stuff, and these people are just any question you could possibly have, they'll have the answer for. It's just it's crazy.
What do you think about this comment from Trex? We need a cooking show with the Sneed.
Cooking with Sneed? Oh.
Yeah.
Take him to the bakery?
Oh. The bogglery. That's right. That could work. But it's madness. It's madness and mayhem, dude. I mean, just the pace, the demand of what we have to produce in a certain amount of time is... There's like no time. I would literally need somebody else to record. Like, it's bonkers.
I don't know, man. You keep hyping it up.
Hyping it up, bro. It is madness there. The oven is 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'm just saying when I pass through the CLE, I'm expecting some goodies.
Yeah, we got you, bro. We got all types of banging pastries, and the pies, and the pita, and the gyros.
I'm a sucker for some good gyros, man.
Yeah, bro. We do nothing but Angus, by the way.
Oh, hang on, my mom's calling me.
Ooh, Trex is saying maybe a Patreon or YouTube member. Yeah, that could work. Oh, is that what really happened, Tech Guy? The internet that brought us the Tide Pod and Cinnamon Challenge? Cinnamon? That's a new one. What up, Los?
Yo, bro, what up, what up?
What's happening, Chief?
Not much, bro. I'm gonna be, out and about still, making some vids, but, of course, gotta join you, bro. I got you, bro.
Appreciate you, bro. This one question is from Mojo. Think it's worth switching over to AT&T now that 16.4 is... What just happened?
I'm so sorry, bro. When I hit the mute, I accidentally tapped the screen. I'm sorry, brother.
That's okay. I'm like, how did that just happen? Think it's worth switching over to AT&T now that 16.4 is truly out with SA access and maybe DoD. I don't know about the SA yet, but the DoD access is out. That's live. It's been live for a while, but you'd have to be on a Samsung Galaxy to enjoy it, I suppose. But now, like with the iPhone, the iPhone's, it's good on AT&T. It's a super efficient experience. You don't need much bandwidth for uplink, to do your FaceTimes of the world and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. Mojo, I don't know who you have right now. I remember you were asking, I think, about T-Mobile back in the day when I recommended it to you. And I told you, you want to try all carriers before you make that long-term commitment. The nice thing is that all the carriers have trials. Or you download an eSIM, you can get X amount of days of usage and stuff like that.
Come on, bro. You're really gonna pop off AT&T's trial as a joke, bro. Come on, man.
What is that on Cricket, right?
Bro, you're gonna get the smicket. And then you only get 3 gigs, bro.
Wait, this isn't a members only live chat, is it? Fridays I do open all the way. I don't put a restriction. Let me double check. No, it's open to subscribers. Yeah, all subscribers can chat. Absolutely. Yeah, the Friday show is always open to all subscribers. That's the way I've always done it. The member only stuff is usually when I do it in the middle of the week or something like that. I don't know, somebody was asking. Yeah, it's open. Hey, City Twister. What's going on? What's going on? Jeannie said he's going to be trying Leica Mobile's free 30-day trial. SIM card on the way. Who's on Leica Mobile? Like, what network is that?
That's T-Mobile, bro. That's T-Mobile.
Oh, damn.
Gene, it's basically T-Mobile.
Right. So if you want to try T-Mobile, then you could do it on their own trial. They do like what, 3 months?
Yeah, I'd rather take the 3 months from actual T-Mobile.
Yeah, and get the proper experience. Or if you like the T-Mobile network and you want to get like a great deal on wireless service, you know what you could use? Talking about our partner, Mint Mobile. Yeah, seriously, if you guys are looking for T-Mobile access on a great deal, you should definitely look into trying Mint Mobile. All right, so they got all types of great value attached to all these plans. You can use the partner link that's in the description of this live stream, and you could take advantage of all the deals that they have. They've got a 6-month free service when you buy a phone and get a 6-month plan. That'll probably get you a full year of really great access, right? So you'll get a great deal on a phone. They've got competitive promos on the phone, and then you're going to basically pay for 6 months and get 6 months free. So if you guys are considering Mint Mobile as an option, use our unique partner link. It's in the description, and you could save that money. And don't forget, if you guys want to keep the SMT caffeinated motivated, you can get me a coffee. Support your creators. Yeah. What were you going to say, Los?
No, you're trying to save that money, huh?
Got to save that money, dog. Well, especially for people who are looking at secondary lines of access. Like, what if you've got AT&T and Verizon already? Or one or the other, and you're like, all right, well, let me get a second line, Some people are doing like lines for 2-factor authentication. Some people use them as business lines. Some people use data only. They don't really use for calling. It's a good way to get a good deal. You know what I mean? You don't have to spend a ton of money, $15 a month, right? And you're going to get yourself, a few gigs of service. You can go unlimited with the $30 plan. I mean, Los, an unlimited plan on a postpaid carrier, single line. I mean, you're starting at $75.
True.
Right? So, and then if you go to a more premium plan, you're upwards of $85, $90. So, forget that postpaid stuff if you're just looking for an additional line of access. Get it from a company like Mint Mobile, and then you could support the channel by using our link in the description. I'll be making a dedicated video highlighting some of the strengths of the Mint Mobile value. That'll be coming up pretty soon. People can save dough, Oh, snap. We got B. What up, B?
What up?
Oh, damn.
You ready for this first topic, dog? Yeah. Look at this one, bro. Look at this one.
So
All right,
what do they give? Do they give out a free Chromebook with that?
What, this?
Yeah, bro.
Bro,
to
you
use
can't
the
even do
Google
8
ecosystem.
gigabits with a freaking Chromebook.
Hold on, homie. Hold on. Let's at least get through the story, damn it. All right, chill out. Okay. Google Fiber debuts the 8 gig broadband. They got the Google Fiber service. I wonder what the uplink is, but this is going live in Mesa, Arizona. I think this went live yesterday. All right, so Google Fiber joins Lumen Technologies as one of the only big name operators to offer symmetrical 8 gig broadband tier. All right, so I do remember when they announced the 5 gig, and now they're in the 8 gig territory. Can we talk about the price, though? $150 per month. Half the price of Lumen, who's charging, I guess, $350. Or what is it? They're charging $150, so $300 for Lumen. That rate includes a Wi-Fi 6 router and up to 2 mesh extenders. Pricing in other tiers remains the same. 1 gig at $70, 2 gig for $100, 5 gig for $125. You can get 8 gig fiber for $150 per month. That is enterprise grade capacity. The hell, man?
That's cheaper than AT&T's 5 gig, which is 180.
AT&T's 5 gig is like $220, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But their 5 gig is a 180.
5 gig 180. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh, man. 8 gigs.
Isn't AT&T supposed to be doing 20 this year?
I have no idea. Is that for residential?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna have to ask.
I think I remember seeing an article for that.
We're gonna have to
Hey,
ask
yo,
No
Steve.
Radio about that when he gets back in here, because you know.
So,
Oh, he's gonna
Steve,
laugh.
if they do offer 20 gig, would you get the 20 gig, sir?
Bro, I can't even use anything beyond 500 meg. All the stuff that I do online is literally capped based on the server I'm connecting through. Like my I timed my downloads on Xbox Live, 500 meg. I timed my uploads to YouTube, 500 meg. I can't do anything with anything beyond that. I'm even, in my opinion, I'm probably overpaying right now. I don't need 1 gig service. Since most of what I'm doing caps out at what the speed test that I occasionally run to see that I'm still getting the speeds I pay for. Legit, like I could save, what is the 500? It's coming in at $70, so I could save $10.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if it's worth it for me to have gig service. What am I going to do with the 8 gig? I don't have a process or a use case for 8 gig.
I mean, honestly, if you're paying the 1 gig and you have the HBO Max, then go ahead and stick with the gig. But if you don't have the HBO Max included in the gig, then why not just go with the 500? I mean, you're getting symmetrical.
Well, they don't even offer HBO Max with home broadband anymore.
No,
So
that's what I'm
literally
saying.
So if I change my account, anything, then I lose the HBO Max.
Okay, so you have it. So at that point, it's probably worth it to keep, because now
Yeah.
HBO Max is $16.
Yep.
But I mean, it's interesting that they're doing 8.
Let's get you the 20, bro. Let's get you the 20, bro. We can distribute it, bro. I'll head over there and we'll do distributions on that 20.
Should I just get a Dream Machine and get busy?
Bro, we'll literally run a damn wisp system out of your house, bro.
And just start putting antennas on the top of the house?
That's right, bro. We'll start beaming it to areas where they don't have fiber at all, bro. And
Bro, can I do what is the unlicensed millimeter wave band? And 96 or something?
You can do 60 gigahertz. 60 would be the ideal.
Damn. And then I'm gonna need a couple point-to-point type joints, right?
Yeah, bro. I mean, if the equipment's not expensive, we could start off with it's cost like $2,000 to start, bro.
All right, Los. So we got to do some cost analysis, right? If I'm paying $150 a month for the fiber, wait, no. AT&T at 20 gig, they're gonna probably charge $400. Don't you think I should stick with like the 5 gig?
We don't need 20 gig, bro. We could just do it on the 5, bro. To start, we could start it on the 1, bro. And then if you start seeing a throttle on your end, then you
Upgrade.
call AT&T and upgrade. Yup.
What do you think, B?
I mean, if it makes money, that makes money.
All right, so I'm paying 80 bucks for the fiber, right? In order for me to break even, I got to get at least 2 customers on it. Right? I would sell it to them for $40.
Now, this is the question. Is there any area close to you that does not have any fiber at all and is not going to get any fiber at all for a while?
No, man, they ran it through the whole neighborhood, bro.
No, like I'm not in your neighborhood, but just like within like, let's say a 5-mile radius.
Yeah, there might be some neighborhoods that are close but didn't get it. But there's a lot of
Like,
trees, dog. We got to get it over the tree line, man.
dude, don't worry. Remember, I own mmWave, bro. I own licenses.
What up, Tana? What's happening, bruh?
We can beam it.
I don't know, man. It's going to be a situation. All right, so what do you guys think? Anybody going to make a response to this? Google Fiber, 8 gig, 150 bucks a month. Do you think anybody responds?
I mean, let's face it, DOCSIS can't do it right now, but it's coming, and they're gonna be able to do 10 gigs, but obviously it won't be
10 gig
symmetrical
symmetrical?
eventually, but it'll probably be able to do maximum when it comes out 3 gigs.
3 gig down and how much up?
No, 10 gigs and then 3 up.
10 down, 3 up?
Yeah.
That's fiber-like, in my opinion. If you can get a gig up, you're in fiber territory.
Yeah.
Actually, no. If you can get 300 up, you're in fiber territory, right? Like entry-level fiber is like 300 down, 300 up.
Yeah.
I mean, in some areas, Comcast is doing 1200 by 200 megs.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Most people tell me they pay 150 bucks a month and they get
35.
like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like 35, 40 gigs. They usually provision up a little bit.
Yeah, around 42, 45.
What do you got, B?
I got 1200 by 35, but it's provisioned to around 42, 43, and then it's provisioned the 1200 to like almost 1500.
And you usually get that across the board?
I don't even have the devices that support that type of speed, to be honest with you.
Good
What are
stuff.
we
the
talking
upload's
about? What did I
nice.
miss?
We were talking about this 8 gig fiber from Google Fiber.
Ooh,
150 bucks a month.
that's cheap.
I know. I was
That's
like, man,
so cheap.
this is like a enterprise grade capacity tier. And it's coming in at like 150 bucks, which that's residential pricing.
I mean, yeah, because that's what does AT&T charge for their 5 gig? It's 180, right?
220?
Yeah.
Oh, 180.
Yeah, I mean, TDS offers 8 gig fiber and fiber to the prem in their footprint, and they charge 275, I think. So 150.
Major profit.
That's 150 is huge, but I don't think anybody's ever gonna get that.
Mesa, Arizona, dog.
Oh, well, I mean, like persons residential wise, that seems kind of.
But the problem when it comes to residential, bro, is you don't even have hardware that can take advantage of that bandwidth. You know,
Yeah,
like
but
you
people will
got.
pay. They'll pay though. They'll be like, "Oh, more speed, mo better."
You know, speaking of that, that's why I really appreciate what TDS does. So when you sign up for their internet, if you sign up for anything higher than 2 gig, they don't give you the option to get a modem or router from them, or I guess it would just be a router.
They don't even stock anything for it.
No, they explicitly say on their website, if you're going to purchase this speed tier, you need to provide your own equipment and verify that it's capable. Because it's so expensive right now.
What do you recommend, EM?
For 8 gig internet?
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like
UDM
that's
Pro.
commercial equipment, right?
Yeah, UDM Pro. but then you're gonna have to go SFP fiber straight off the ONT. Like 10 gig Ethernet is very hard to find in a good router.
What type of cables you gonna use?
You just have to use short run. Cat 6 is fine.
Yeah.
But
Cat 6 does what, up to 10 gig?
It'll do 10 gig, yeah. I don't know. It doesn't seem feasible right now. I'm just gonna leave it at that for most people.
I'll be honest with you, Sam. He's in the comment section. I don't know what 8 gig to the premise. That's not business or enterprise. I don't know. Yeah, the 10 gig Ethernet card as well. Yeah, so like for an actual like computer to do anything with it.
And even high-end motherboard, like if you're talking like desktop computers, even high-end motherboards for like custom PC builds, most of the time it's like 2.5 gig at most.
That's what I've been seeing. I mean, even having that conversation with Dox's Dennis.
Yeah, 10 gig, you get a PCI expansion card with a 10 gig Ethernet port. It's expensive. Like not worth type expensive.
You got to be doing some heavy lifting to really need the 8 gig and upgrade all that equipment and, you know, get everything state of the art modern. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
But the thing
the
is,
fiber is going to be cheap though. It's going to be $150.
Yeah.
Honestly, but at the end of the day, Sneed, what services do you connect to right now at this current moment that can even take advantage of the full speed? Not even YouTube. For uploading videos, you can utilize your full 1 gig.
500 meg.
Yeah.
500 meg. That's all you could do. It does not matter.
Yeah.
Even on a millimeter wave connection where I had, you know, all that speed, you know, it won't even make a difference.
Exactly, bro.
I honestly feel, Sneed, that they're making all these types of speeds because they know people won't really utilize these speeds, but they know that they'll sell them, and they know that the devices that they'll connect to won't be able to get that speed, but they'll just make more money off of it because people aren't educated on what type of speed they actually need.
But here's why this is important, this announcement. I'm going to tell you why. This brings pricing down across the board. You know, Google Fiber goes into Mesa, introduces an 8 gig plan for $150. I don't know what other providers are in Mesa, but I can promise you right now they are pissed as hell that Google Fiber is going to sell 8 gig for $150. Okay, they're about to put Cox out of business because Cox is going to sell whatever their best plan is for that much, which is probably a gig down and 40 up. And they're going to sell it for $170. You see what I'm saying? Like these customers are literally going to leave Cox in droves. Who the hell is going to pay more for an inferior service from an unreliable, incompetent home ISP? The speed is irrelevant. The fact that you have Google Fiber coming in to play ball at $150 a month for an insane capacity tier. And don't forget about the rest of the pricing. They had it. Where did I see it?
I was gonna say if they're dropping the floor on pricing too, that's huge.
No, everything's the same, but it's just cheaper than coax. 1 gig symmetrical is $70 a month. 2 gig, it's a 2 gig down and 1 gig up. It's $100. 5 gig is $125.
Oh my, that is so cheap.
You see what I'm saying, EM? Like that's why this is important. It's not that people are getting access to an 8 gig capacity tier. It's the fact that they're coming in and giving it to them for the cheap, bro.
Now is this like, because we're talking home ISPs here, is this without any sort of promotional discount? Like this is perma pricing?
Everyday pricing.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it's good. That's really good. Too bad the impact only extends to Mesa, Arizona. It doesn't affect anybody else.
Look at the AT&T pricing. If we compare it, right? AT&T is coming in at $80 a month for a gig, and Google Fiber is at $70. AT&T's 2 gig is what? $180.
Yes. so.
This is $100. 5 gig 125, which I think AT&T is selling it for like two something.
But in all honesty, Sneed, like in Mesa, Arizona, their competitor is Cox. So I don't really think AT&T really cares right now, unless they expand beyond. Like,
AT&T is expanding in Arizona though.
but
Phoenix, Tempe.
well, isn't that area mainly CenturyLink?
Los, can you comment to that?
Cox.
Cox and CenturyLink down there?
Yes, Cox. It's Cox, CenturyLink, and depending on the area, I think they got Spectrum too, depending on the area of
Very,
Maricopa
very, very
County.
little Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the other problem I have, right? So they talk about all this fiber expansion within these cities, but you literally have fiber ops laying fiber on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
We should be focusing on getting it to people who don't have it, rather than competition within one city where these companies aren't going to see ROI on that because customers already have fiber options. I don't know.
Should fiber ISPs be regulated by the FCC?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
There is such a stark divide in terms of broadband accessibility in this country that nobody wants to acknowledge or care about.
I think we covered a lot, EM. We really try to push the narrative, man.
No, I'm not you guys. I mean in general. Like I'm generalizing, talking about the public,
The
and
general public doesn't know what they don't know.
they don't know, but their elected officials and their regulators don't care either.
Yeah, they're straight up bums. They'll take the first envelope that slides their way.
Exactly. But the more people talk about it, the more that the issue is brought up and not just brushed under the rug, the more progress we'll see. Which I mean, we're already seeing with the FCC money that they're giving out, whatever, I forget what they call it. I mean,
ARPA or whatever.
yeah, I mean, there's so many rural telco ops that are just putting up fiber to the prem to every address in a city or a town or whatever, which is really exciting. That to me is more exciting
It's a
than
game changer for those people.
exactly.
Yeah.
It brings more connectivity to people rather than more options for people who already have it. Which, you know, if you think about it, is gonna it's just gonna bring up the it's raising everybody up rather than offering people in the cities who probably have more money, more options. I don't know.
Yeah. More people getting more options when we don't have some people getting any options.
Exactly. But it's
All right.
cool. 8 gig fiber, you know, whatever.
It is cool. It definitely is cool. All right. Dish hit with investor lawsuits after the cyber attack. This is a brand new story hot off the press. All right. So, about a month ago, man, it's longer than a month ago. It was like February 23rd. And the cyber attack on Dish basically crippled the entire system. Dish was basically a non-operable company. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't access any systems. Couldn't function in retail. They had issue with the TV side, the wireless side. It was all bad. Now there is a lawsuit that was filed yesterday, Thursday, March 30th, from a law firm of Levi and Korsinski, class action securities lawsuit accusing Dish of making false and misleading statements related to the cyber attack. The lawsuit seeks to recover losses on behalf of Dish investors who were adversely affected between February 22nd and February 27th, 2023. Additional lawsuits are being filed by Bragger Eagle and Squire, Bernstein Leibhard, and New York attorney Vincent Wong. Okay, so they are on the helmet of Dish, bro, after the internal outage. Dish's stock has been in a dissension for weeks. I think it's down under $9 now or something like that, around $9. Wow. Okay, so there were downgrades across all these different analysts. It's a really bad time at Dish. You know, they're trying to focus on building their 5G network. They're trying to focus on retail operations. The cyber attack basically cripples their entire business across all the different entities, and now investors are suing them, which also means investors are pulling their money. We got problems at Dish, man. I mean, the only thing they should be worried about right now should be the network build, not stuff like cyber attacks and investor lawsuits. That's just next level distractions.
I agree.
Honestly,
I agree to disagree with you there. They need to be focusing on everything, because right now nobody has any idea who they are or what they're doing.
Thanks, Santiago. Appreciate the super chat. Interesting to see what happens at Dish. We really need that fourth competitor. I agree, man. We're pushing for him to find some success. It's just tough sledding right now. No, the reason I said that, EM, was the primary focus should be the network and retail operations selling that network access. Right? It's not that I don't want them doing everything. It's that they've got a deadline, or else they're going to start paying fines. You know, so like, here's what I'm saying. Here's like an analogy. If you're a student and you have midterm or finals coming up, your focus doesn't need to be, why isn't my girlfriend answering her phone? Why isn't my friend talking to me? You know, what time is my basketball game on Sunday? Right? Your focus should be those exams. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just like, what's the priority? Dish has been putting out fires for the last month instead of focused on the network build. Like, how's Dish going to raise money? They need to raise capital. Who's going to be investing money into a company under all these stresses?
Yeah, but who's I mean, kind of their own fault. Charlie said that they could do it. They said they could build the infrastructure, they could build the systems, they could retain the employees.
bro, Charlie needs to get off that Charlie's Angels bullshit.
To me, I don't see anyone else to blame other than the fact that they went in over their head, and this is the consequence of doing something like that. Granted, they've made some great progress in the network, but the Boost brand is suffering. The Project Genesis is impossible to sign up for if you actually want to sign up for it. And then on top of that, even if you do have service, can't pay your bill, your lines get disconnected. I don't know what, it's just a mess, and the whole thing is broken. I don't know what else to say. Like, I can't feel bad for them either, you know?
The problem with Dish right now is that they have a dying service, and then their plans are too expensive right now. Like the Boost Mobile, like their most expensive plan is $60 a month, and you get HD, but you only have 30 gigs or whatever, and then after that you're literally at dial-up speeds. And that's why all their customers are actually leaving, and everybody's saying, oh, well, they're losing all these customers, and they're basically just going to Cricket and Metro and even in some cases even Visible, because they're almost at half the cost.
The problem is their main core business, which is their satellite, is dying.
Yeah, they don't have a stable revenue stream coming in outside of their fledgling wireless business that keeps losing customers.
And this data breach literally only shot the Dish.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows, it goes to show just how vulnerable some of these companies can be, and the consequences that can come in when bad actors are involved. I mean, customers not being able to pay their bill, their lines getting suspended, customer service reps not being able to do anything. Like, that's huge. That's like a foundational piece of your business if you're a telco operator.
Bro, if that shit happened to Verizon, think of what would happen if that shit happened to Verizon.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't think that this type of thing could happen at Verizon. I think they would have more there would be more of a wall. There'd be more measures in place to prevent it. It wouldn't be this easy to take it down. You know what I mean?
So, so the thing comes down to, bro, with the plans. I don't know if you guys have been seeing. They actually been restructuring the plans on their prepaid side for one, especially to accommodate the Rainbow SIM, which is becoming more widely available. So, and video uncapped is a reality now with the Rainbow SIM.
But the thing is,
Bro,
Carlos,
the
that
average
they don't
consumer.
have enough capacity, and even then, like the pings are high when they're on AT&T.
The capacity is there, and the only reason why the pings are higher is because it's going through the native cloud network. That will all get every carrier. I'm gonna tell you guys this right now, and you guys might think that I'm full of smoke, but AT&T starting to actually see it right now. Every carrier that's gonna get routed to the cloud, the pings will go up because it's going through the cloud. It will happen. You are not gonna see 8 millisecond ping on millimeter wave much longer. Because once it goes to the cloud, it's going to be like 20, 25. Mark my words.
So what the hell are we gonna? What happened to those promises of single digit millisecond ping time on SA5G?
Yeah, Open
That will
RAN.
Near zero
that will
latency.
happen. That will happen later on. We're in the beginning stages of the cloud right now. Right now, the experiment is the cloud-based RAN.
So you think that there's
So
going to be a regression in latency?
yeah, the latency will spike, will go up, and then it'll come back down once they get the dial in with more cloud servers and more areas and stuff like that. A lot of people are going with Amazon, bro. Amazon only has like, I think, like, what is it, like 5 main ones, 5, 10, something
No,
like that.
Microsoft and AWS and Azure, they're all they're getting all the business.
Well, I'm noticing it, so I've been figuring out why my pings have been spiking with AT&T 5G here, and now I know why. Because it's
of
starting to
Azure?
go through the cloud. It's going through the cloud. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tech Guy says something that's exactly, he's nail on the head. The cloud is not going to be applicable for latency sensitive applications or services.
Well, then you need mobile edge compute.
That's
you got to
where
be on the
that's
edge.
where. So that's where MEC. That's why they'll have it for the enterprise and the business side. Well, I think Verizon's pushing the MEC, the edge, the MEC thing, because that's where you're going to be able to not connect to. They'll have a separate entity where it won't connect to that native cloud server. It'll be just directly through their normal venues that they're used to, and you'll have the lower latency.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Carlos, what's up with that home internet on Dish?
What
Haven't
about
heard anything. Haven't heard anything about it recently. The fixed wireless.
I mean, it could come soon. Who knows?
Well, it'd work better with less users on the network, so now would be the time. Come knocking on your door and tell you 100 gig down, 20 up, $50.
What if it came at 30?
Cheap as hell.
I don't know. This is the rumors
How are they going to do
hearing.
How are they going to do the customer premise equipment? Like just a gateway, a window gateway?
What if they're working something with Nokia?
Yeah, but is it going to be like an antenna situation, like outside, kind of like with what Verizon has?
And remember, I think it's going to be Vegas only.
And
it's got to be SA compatible, right? Hardware
it is. Yeah, it's gonna be SA. Yeah, I mean they'll have something. They'll have something. Let's put it that way.
Hey, if Project Genesis and Dish is watching this, Send it over to Sneed Mobile Tech. You guys got my account information. Send it over.
It's I'm telling you, brother, it's gonna. I mean, I know this basically gave them like a 2-hook combo. You know what I'm saying, bro? And I know it did, bro. Don't get me wrong. How do we call these things? A shit show. All right, but this is a learning experience too. At the same time, yes, it was horrible the way they handled it. 100%, bro. They reneged on a promise of crediting service because they thought that people were it wasn't that they thought, there was actually store representatives bamboozling the credits, aka activating new lines after the whole thing happened, and then just so they can merge the credits. That's the reason why it stopped, but they should have honored it to their current customers, and that's where they screwed up big time.
All right, folks. Next story. Verizon Frontline debuts 2 newest deployable asset prototypes. The story is from the Verizon News Center. I follow these stories sometimes. There's some cool stuff here. All right. A crisis happens. I don't think any company is as responsive as Verizon. I think they're kind of the trendsetter when it comes to stuff like this. Verizon has an estimated fleet of 600 deployable assets available to support public safety agencies and first responders nationwide. The Verizon Rapid Response Connectivity Unit involves 2 assets. One is 6 feet long, 2.5 feet wide, built for versatility, portability, and ease of use. It's called the Verizon Rapid Response Connectivity Unit. Designed to be deployed by one person in fewer than 15 minutes, capable of delivering secure and reliable voice and internet service for first responders under austere conditions. Why they got to use fancy words? It is C-band enabled. It uses low Earth orbit satellite and medium Earth orbit satellite. Cloud managed firewall, cloud managed router switch, 4G LTE network extenders capable of supporting up to 120 active users. So this one is specific to support first responders in a specific location. All-terrain motorized carriage, gasoline generator with an extra 5-gallon fuel tank, functions at nearly any altitude in nearly any climate. We get a picture of this thing? Oh, there it is. Can you guys hear?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yes.
Oh snap! Verizon's coming for your background beats. You got some competition right now.
Dude, it's a motorcycle. Bro, they got a motorcycle with antennas on it. Did you guys see that thing?
Wasn't UPS supposed to do like drone or something like that with 5G or something like that?
Bruh, they got an antenna where the basket is. You know where you put the fruit basket? But they got an antenna on it. Look at this thing, bro. It's like a Vespa with an antenna.
I don't know, man. I'm a pretty tall guy. That one might be a stretch.
But this thing can get into an alley, though. Bruh, they got a little motorcycle, a little scooter thingy. Wow. They're just doing anything these days, man. They're like, yeah, let's put antennas on this thing.
It's all about finding a use case. That's the big push.
All right, let's get back to traditional wireless stuff. That was a break from the norm. All right, CBRS replaces Wi-Fi in Tennessee factory. You guys know I love CBRS. Nice little piece of networking that Verizon does.
We'd be screwed without CBRS.
Yeah, it's major, man. So this factory is using CBRS. I'm guessing it's a private network. It operates their forklifts, connects a bunch of devices within the factory. I'm guessing they could probably also do inventory, whatever they needed to do with connectivity. They got some, what do they got here? VLANs. Yep, they're doing it over CBRS spectrum, general access, so it's the unlicensed type. It's a 425,000 square foot facility. It's pretty big. It's a big ass warehouse. All right, so I know a lot of people poo-poo CBRS. I love it. I think CBRS is great. That's a good use case of CBRS. This is the kind of thing that I think the FCC had in mind when they set up the sharing rules and the guidelines for CBRS is stuff like this. This, and I think also the fixed wireless access for like wireless ISPs, schools, right? They could set up wireless networks with CBRS. I like it. I like this. I mean, I would like to see a contiguous 3 gigahertz going to the mobile network operators, but this is not a bad outcome for what the FCC designed it to do. So,
No, it's good to see. I think that this is kind of the beginning of the end for 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, especially in these applications. Right now, I think that's the biggest problem a lot of people have. Whether it's business applications or home applications, Wi-Fi just can't cut it anymore. So
Wi-Fi 6 is good.
Yeah,
Wi-Fi
but
6E is good.
when you have that many devices all in
What's the
warehouse,
maximum? Yeah, what's the max theoretical device connectivity to the Wi-Fi 6 and 6E and all that? 7.
I have no idea, honestly.
Is it in the hundreds?
Oh, I'm
Access
sure.
points and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. But the issue is it's going to be more or less just like long term. Like the biggest problem that I was going to bring this up, we were talking about the fiber thing. Like Wi-Fi, this traditional Wi-Fi standard isn't going to support all of that capacity over a reasonable distance. And it's the same application here. These things are constantly talking to each other back and forth, back and forth. Like those Wi-Fi channels are going to get eaten up really fast. So
Is the key to offer multiple wireless solutions within these facilities? So having a Wi-Fi for certain things and then having the private network specifically for certain devices?
yeah, probably. To be honest with you, the whole private 5G network stuff is it's an enigma to me. I don't understand the application or use cases because I've never seen it in person, but I would imagine it's something like that.
That's the way I look at the private network. It's like only certain devices are going to be picking up this signal and connecting to this network. Right? So like if somebody comes in with their device, their phone, and they come into the facility and they ask like, look at this, how are you going to get a signal from outside of this place? What if the macro is a mile away? And then throw in the fact that this is all concrete, metal, rebar, beams. You're going to have to be on a network of some sort in there. So do you continue to maintain a Wi-Fi network, mesh systems and all that and access points and then also a private network, or do you just go the private network and call it a day? Because like you're going to need equipment. You're going to have like basically a small mobile network operator, right? You're going to create your own network. So the equivalent of a baseband, right? Fiber optic cable, switches, antennas. You're going to have to put an antenna basically what? Every 5th or 6th beam in this place?
Probably even more than that. I mean, this doing a private CBRS network in a warehouse like that probably significantly reduces the amount of infrastructure you have to deploy to keep all your devices connected.
Way more secure than Wi-Fi, provides a pathway to MEC. That's right, brother.
If it's being provided by a network operator that offers mobile edge compute. That's the thing. Like, we're seeing all of these stories pop up, and everyone poo-pooed on Verizon for focusing on MEC.
Well,
Yeah,
the demand isn't there just yet, but I don't. I think it's just a matter of time. They're
Yeah,
going to be, these companies are going to call up Verizon and say, "Hey, what can you build this for us?" And Verizon's going to say, "Oh yeah, we can, absolutely."
exactly. And now that automation's being implemented in a lot of different fields and a lot of different applications, and they need some sort of high bandwidth service that can run the show. Private
I
5G
think
is just starting, bro.
I think you're going to see multiple bands on these private networks. I think you're going to see 3 gigahertz. I think you're going to see 12 gigahertz. I think you'll see millimeter wave too. I think there's going to be like tri-band private networks. Like it's going to be like a mini ISP in there. Come on, man. 450,000 square feet. That's a huge place. You could do a lot.
You do a ton.
That's true.
And it would be state of the art because it's the cutting edge.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see where this can develop and what can develop from it, because
I think the first use case are going to be companies like Ericsson, Nokia, Samsung, where they have their manufacturing. They should be running on these types of networks. What do you think? Don't you see like the symbiosis in that?
I mean, what's a better way to prove a use case of your product or service than using that product or service to build your equipment?
Exactly. Like you would make a documentary, right? It would be like the CEO or whatever, the CTO of Samsung Electronics. Like, hey, look what we can do with our equipment on our facilities. We have a private network and we partner with Verizon, our partner, and all that, and boom,
I
ultra
bet you
low latencies, lots of bandwidth. Yeah, go ahead, Ashay.
I bet you they already have that in South Korea with their own network because they produce a lot of stuff over there.
Bro, South Korea is ahead. I would say they're ahead by 4 to 6 years from ahead than us.
Yup.
What did Brian say? I haven't heard that. First quarters are never great for VZ from a growth standpoint, but they'll post decent numbers in first quarter. I can see that.
Yeah, just don't have your expectations up too high.
Yo, Bryant, real talk, man. I don't know who, people are listening to the demise of Verizon. It's not a thing. That is a made up scenario that does not exist. Verizon is going nowhere. They got 140 million subscribers. They're a cash generating machine. They
own
own their
fiber.
network. They own their network. They go nowhere.
They're not renting.
No.
Ownership economics.
They're a cash cow, bro.
That's what I just don't understand how people can't put 2 and 2 together. Like,
oh no, don't bring him up.
No, I'm not. We're not gonna go that far. But they're gonna keep competing with pricing, and then eventually the company who doesn't own anything they're gonna look at their book sheets. They're gonna be like, we may need to start turning more profit, bringing in more revenue. And how are they gonna do that? They're gonna start raising prices.
No, Tech, I wasn't talking about you. I understand what you're saying. And actually, Tech, I agree with you on a couple things. I remember you and me were talking, well, you were typing in the live chat and I was agreeing with you. It's kind of a toss up if we're going to see if it's going to play out for Verizon where they're very happy to serve the mobile virtual network operators, but they're unwilling to compete in pricing on the postpaid side traditionally. We'll see if that plays out for them. So far, they've kind of given the life to Spectrum and Xfinity. Now they take a bit of a pay cut, right? They're not going to make the same amount of ARPU, but then again, they're keeping customers from going to AT&T or T-Mobile. So is it better to make a little less money but keep the customer on the network, or to just outright lose them to AT&T or T-Mobile? Because that's where those customers, the cost-sensitive ones, would have gone. But instead of them going to AT&T or T-Mobile, they went to big cable, which some of those gigs are being used on the Verizon network.
And also, Sneed, you forgot to mention that there's some handshakes going around with Spectrum and Verizon. So they're getting a deal on the wireless, and Verizon's getting a deal on the fiber.
I mean, there could be a lot of things going on that we don't know about. You know, there's agreements and things that just not publicly disclosed. You know,
I mean,
I personally think I'd like to see Verizon more competitive in postpaid, but you can get a good deal on a Verizon access that's not Verizon branded.
I mean, it's also important to point out that they've agreed to partner with Spectrum for CBRS, or at least open the door. There's a relationship there. What that relationship is, I don't think we'll ever find out. But like, they may be losing customers to cable, losing quote unquote customers to cable, but they're really on the backside of things. They're winning, and winning a lot more than the other two. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm not with the narrative that Verizon's done and they're not competing. They're not competing in the way that some people want them to. But they are upgrading a network in an accelerated pace. They are still expanding fiber. Right? They're still a fiber owner and builder. I think they're competitive in the home broadband space. They have Fios and they have fixed wireless access. You tell me what company is actively building out fiber and fixed wireless access.
None.
It's just Verizon.
Oh shit, bro! You see what Josh put in there?
Did Josh try Mobile X?
Let's not use Mobile X.
Or did you try Mobile X Blind G Tech, or are the shackles still on your feet?
Bro, a lot of people have been trying it, bro. A lot of people, and you know what? How I put it to the test, bro. Oh God,
this guy must just have a vendetta for Verizon. Holy smokes!
I literally
tech guy.
What?
If Verizon will not compete in postpaid, Verizon will cease offering ththose services and allow MVNOs to handle all their consumer sales. They are competing. What do you want from them? Like, straight up, what do you want from them?
I think
offer promotions.
I think Tech Guy 32 is a Verizon customer, actually.
But all he does, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to single you out here, but all you do is dog on that company. They say that you say they're not competing, you say they're not doing things, but yet they are doing things. You just refuse to recognize that they're doing things. Like, I'm sorry, man, but you're just wrong, bro.
I think Verizon competes well with the fixed wireless access service. I think they compete well through cable operators for the, for like a better rate with those cable bundles. I think Verizon does a pretty nice job with, like, track phones. It offers good pricing. I think they have to market it better, right? Get a better retail situation, whatever it is. Visible is a great value, but nobody knows about it. So like there are some things that I think Verizon needs to work on with respect to getting the message out. Hey, here are the things that Verizon does. Get this great network experience, but get it through these brands. Hey, don't want to pay $80, $90 a month? We do it this way. We do it that way. I think that communication needs to be there. If anything, I would say the messaging to the general public is poor because Verizon does have other channels. You get what I'm saying, Ian?
Oh yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. They've let TracFone like spiral. They killed all the other brands. Total by Verizon is still this weird enigma that nobody knows about. Visible, we all know what situation with them has been over the last couple of years. They have a lot to work on. But like postpaid is probably the only thing that they have been consistently competing in and consistently advertising for and messaging. It's everything else surrounding that have been really up in the air and confusing for everyone.
They're
So-
so to
Easy
kind of
fanboy. Give me a break,
to
bro. My main number's on AT&T and has been on AT&T for years.
but
Okay.
here's the thing about this comment right here. They're not losing the profitable customers to T-Mobile and AT&T. They're losing the profitable customers to cable MVNO. Like Big Cable has 9 million subscribers now. Those were Verizon customers. Those were not T-Mobile or AT&T customers most cases.
And even if they did lose customers, let's just say they did, we're gonna throw that out there. The customer they lost is just the customer that came in for the promo for the 2 years or the year, and that's it.
Yeah, and they're
Yep.
churning and stuff,
Yeah.
and they'll be around. They're coming and going. Right.
They haven't, bro. Like Verizon doesn't give a damn about those customers because they know that those customers, once the next deal comes up, they're gonna just jump ship right away. So they don't care about them. Like
Yeah, but
me,
if you
bro.
notice, Los, even T-Mobile has adjusted their promos.
Yeah,
Right?
they're
They're
going
not as
premium.
aggressive as they were with the phone deals as they were
Nope.
2 years ago.
Yeah, they're going as Verizon premium. You got to be on Magenta MAX in order to
Right.
get the $1,000 off.
Yeah, that's true.
And the only one that isn't doing it is AT&T.
But AT&T's ARPU went down. Remember when it was over $50? Like 3
Yeah.
quarters ago? Now it's like 49.
Why do you think that their ARPU is dropping, Sneed,
Because they're paying more to acquire the customer.
in terms of promotions?
Yes. Those phones, those Galaxies are $1,000. Those iPhones are $900. And in order to get that back, they had to introduce 36-month installments. That's a long commitment. And you know how I know that's the case? Because I'm watching Verizon pull them out every couple of weeks. They bring them out, they put them away, they bring it back, they take it away. A
Bro.
company only does that when they know it's expensive to acquire customers.
Let's put it this way right now, Sneed. So right now, Verizon has like what a lot of people don't know is you can get a Get More line for $76 for a single line right now. You can get a family of 6. So if you got 6 lines, you can get it for $210.
But hold on.
Everybody on Get More.
Hold on. That brings up the biggest problem I have with Verizon is their marketing and their promotions suck.
Yeah.
And Blind,
Yeah.
you said it too. That promo that they have for the plan pricing has so many stipulations on it that it makes it almost unattractive to anyone. You got to do BYOD. You got to be there for 36 months. Like, nobody wants to deal with all the asterisks.
You don't have to stay on that. You don't have to stay. You can if you upgrade, then you upgrade and you lose the credit. If you another one is if you let's say you decide to leave the company, you don't owe them nothing. You just lose the credit. That's it.
No,
It's not like they're going to charge you back.
But a customer
Before
should
was
not have to
horrible.
read like a paragraph of fine print before they sign up for something.
And that's where you have sales reps that are bad too. At the end, it all goes hand in hand with everything, bro. If you had sales reps that were trained to let the customer know when they go in the store, like, hey, this is a promotional pricing. It's for 36 months. You get this credit, but if you upgrade at any time or if you cancel, you lose it, but there's no chargeback to it. If you had reps that actually explained it to people, then it wouldn't be as bad.
Bro, real talk, the reps at Verizon retail are not the reps that used to be there.
No.
They don't really know what they're selling.
They've driven out the talent.
Yeah, the guys and gals that used to sell big, that used to make fat commission checks were motivated monetarily to sell. And they didn't want returns. They made good deals, right? They wanted to get you a good phone that was going to perform on the network, and they wanted to get you the plan that you wanted, and then also sell you on things that were going to boost their numbers by giving you things you might also like. Retail, that's what retail is in, the wireless carrier sense. We're selling them a service. We're going to attach a bunch of things. Let's convince them that they want it. I mean, look at T-Mobile reps. What do? Hey, we're going to sell you service cheaper than Verizon. What else can I sell you since you're saving money?
And I tell you right now that they're seeing a lot of success by actually paying their employees. Like I talked to a friend who's a manager at T-Mobile, and every time he signs up new customers, they're saving money, signing up for Magenta MAX, and getting all of the extra goodies that get the sales reps paid. Like it's like a win-win for everyone there right now, and that's one area that Verizon has really lapsed on compared to the other two. They need to work on that. But I don't know. I could be making hot takes here, and everyone disagrees.
No,
But
no, we agree. The customer care isn't great. The retail situation is poor. The highlight is still the network. I don't care what anybody says. You know, when I look at the national build, when I look at the pace of the ultra wideband build, I think that's the shining star. And if the network was so damn bad, then why the hell does big cable have 9 million subscribers? Why couldn't AT&T or T-Mobile take those customers?
why aren't
I'll
they
wait.
Why aren't they landing? Why aren't those? Why is Verizon still landing huge contracts for business and enterprise? The network's there. It's the consumer messaging and the marketing and everything on that side. It just needs to be thrown back in the oven, and they need to figure something out. Like,
And by the way, there's a narrative floating out there that like T-Mobile takes all the customers in Metro. Not true. You don't have 140 million customers and not have majority share in the major markets. That shit does not make sense to me. No way. No way. Like, I get it. New York, T-Mobile. LA, T-Mobile. I get it. But not every metro area is going to be T-Mobile dominant market. How the hell did Verizon get to 140 million subs? There's not enough customers in rural America. And by the way, they say, oh, Verizon band 13 only in rural America. Why the hell would people pay for a shitty network experience? None of this makes any sense.
yeah,
None of it. Absolutely nothing.
no, it doesn't. And for the record, you go to those same areas where they're band 13 only, and I would be willing to put money on T-Mobile either not having service or it's 5 megahertz of band 71.
Bro,
So
listen,
pick
in
your
my
poison.
opinion, and based on the data, AT&T has the most uniformly modernized network across all states.
That is true.
Or across like 40 of them. A majority of the states, AT&T is cooking with gas. But still, they have less subscribers than Verizon.
And T-Mobile.
The
Right.
things that people say don't make sense. They're delusional. There's no data to prove any of it.
No, it's people who are salty with the company for
We analyze it and evaluate it from a national scale. But then somebody wants to tell me about their water site that's on band 13 only. I don't care. We have a national perspective on this channel. I get it. In some places, the towers are they're outdated. That doesn't change the national outlook. You've got companies that generate billions in revenue. We evaluate those companies. It's crazy, EM. It's crazy to think that something can happen 90 times out of 100, but then they want to emphasize the 10%.
Yeah, but
and say,
and I'm hold on. I want to specify too. I guess let's clear the air here. Not saying that your complaints aren't valid.
They are valid.
They're
That's
valid.
how you make your decision on what provider to have.
Exactly. That's how you make your decision. That doesn't mean that it uniformly impacts everyone else who's also looking for service or looking for options. And I just want to make sure that people know it's not personal. It's you got to look at it from a outside perspective. You got to open up, look at the world around you, not your market, not your city, not your state. Look at it from a nationwide scale, and you can see there's some drastic differences.
I hope anyone's watching.
Says the man who went on his trip and ate his words about his opinions. Like you get outside of your bubble and you see that your experience can change drastically. I don't know. I could go on forever and ever because it's my biggest complaint about when I see that kind of stuff. But whatever. Next topic.
Well, here's a comment from Sam. I have band 66 in a town of 1,300, and I get 150 megs down. Yeah, a nice modern site can get you some speed. Absolutely. Blind G Tech wants to see Lily at Verizon to change the marketing chops.
Good Lord.
Tech Guy 32 says they drove out all their good employees in general. I'd say the customer care is poor performing. I would say the retail is poor performing. I mean, I don't see the retail at Verizon as super aggressive, right, in terms of just the structure of the deals they can offer you. But I also think that the salespeople at Verizon at one point were a little bit stronger. You know, I think the more experienced sellers, those that had the touch, those that had the gift, they moved on. I wonder if any of them went to big cable.
But like, let's be real here too. Like, they don't have to be super aggressive. They already have the most customers. And what does everybody complain about on Verizon was, oh, they're so congested. You know what congests them? All of the customers being on the same network. Like, come on, man. It benefits everyone for there to be customers on each individual network. That makes common sense. Like,
Bro,
you don't hop on the train and then get on the train car that has all of the people on it when there's a train car that has half the people on it. Your experience is going to be better.
Man, I've been saying this for like, when did they start the N41 build? 3 years ago? You know, once they kind of, you know, when the N41 connection became ubiquitous in Cleveland, I was like, man, this is really, these are very fast channels. More people need to be using T-Mobile over here. You know, Verizon should not have 49% market share. There should be a little bit more parity if we're looking at the capacity standpoint. But even on 1 gig circuits across the entire city, I'm still getting 500-600 megs in certain places. Like, it's not getting used.
The problem with people wanting to switch over to T-Mobile, bro, and AT&T, and this is just facts, bro, is T-Mobile has always been looked at as the subpar network, even though we know that they've improved a lot, and it's not as subpar as it was from decades ago.
Carlos,
but that's how it's looked at.
Is T-Mobile still mid?
It's pretty. It's improved a lot, bro. Okay, it has. I'm not gonna downplay them, but that's how they're looked at by a lot of people, and they can't trust them. And then you got AT&T. That people, the one thing they complain about the most is their bill, bro. Any person that has been with AT&T, current or past, can tell you at least a handful of times that they've had billing issues. And that's the problem. And this is why people get comfortable with sitting at red. This is the big problem, is because they know at the end they don't got to worry about that billing issue and shit. Yeah, it might cost more. It might cost a grip more money, but at least they know that their bill's going to be that amount every month. And that's what it comes down to. And the reliability source that they're known for. And just because in a few markets it gets only fucking 2 meg, don't mean nothing, bro. Because at the end of the day, you can still, that call will still be clearer than your T-Mobile or AT&T voice call, and that's facts.
And Ashay, I got a bone to pick with you, bro. You ready for this? I want all the smoke.
Oh shoot!
Yeah. You ready, bro?
I'm ready.
All right, man. Listen, AT&T may not build out 5G plus as fast as Verizon is building out 5G ultra wideband, but it's going to be faster than the N41 build, in my opinion. All right, my estimation, my projection, based on the first year of watching it get built in Cleveland, I think they're going to build it and finish it a little bit faster than T-Mobile's N41. Listen, man, not everybody can build out as fast as Verizon. Verizon is a dedicated wireless ISP that really only does fiber for FiOS where they exist already, right? So their attention can be focused on the wireless side a little bit more. And their wireless capex is high, right? Because they don't do as much fiber, say for example, as AT&T. So when you're
Yes.
hard on AT&T, I think you have to have that perspective. This company wants to be a fiber company. They just happen to sell wireless, but their wireless network, given those priorities, is still pretty damn good.
They're pretty good. But when I'm looking in the future, and all they're talking about is fiber, fiber, fiber.
Okay, hold on a
And in the
second, bro. Hold on,
conferences,
hold
all
on.
they talk about is fiber.
Hold on, man. Is T-Mobile mid?
T-Mobile's mid. Yes.
Okay, is AT&T mid?
No.
So there you
They're
go.
very,
You're putting a little respect on their name for what they're doing.
but I just don't want it to be another DirecTV or HBO
Bro,
Max.
let's put it this way, bro. Shay don't want it to be like another damn 2013, bro, where AT&T was,
Bro,
or
Stanky ain't
2017.
that
I'm sorry,
guy. Stanky
but
ain't that guy. That's the ghost of Randall, dog. We've
yeah,
moved on.
but that's the thing, bro. You never know because at the end, the investors can change it up, bro. They see more profits on the fiber side. They're like, you know what? Put a little bit of brakes here. Let's go to the fiber side a little more. Let's shift some of that dough, over here, that Skrilla, and then
They're,
let's shift the Skrilla over this way, bro. And then now you're gonna have a repeat of 2017, bro, where you got HSPA on 80% of their sites in major cities. Still,
remember, Steve, they've took CapEx from wireless and put it into fiber. So the wireless is suffering. And I don't know if they keep doing this for the next couple years, they're going to be the last one. It's going to be Verizon, T-Mobile, then AT&T.
Okay,
I
so
feel that
Shay,
But
when do
what
you
do-
estimate AT&T gets 90% of their 5G plus done? C-band, DoD, that whole thing. Give me a quarter, a quarter and a year.
Oh my gosh, it's 2023 already.
Right? It's
So
the end of Q1 2023.
end of Q1. So I say 2025 Q4.
Damn, son.
If
oh
they're
no,
spending all this money on fiber,
damn.
I see it.
Damn.
So,
All right, I got to
so
ask around. All right,
Shay, you're being
let's take it
nice,
to
bro.
Brandon. Brandon, what's your estimate projection? When do they finish that initial 5G plus rollout?
You really want my honest answer, Sneed?
I do.
27.
What?
Yes.
Bro, this
In the
is
investor calls,
absurd.
in the investors call, when they talk about wireless, they say no, we're talking about fiber.
That's what I'm saying. Like I give it
that's true, bro.
27. And I
What?
Sneed,
give it
and
2027
Sneed,
because
you need to
there
listen to some of those calls.
Bruh. It is not that hard
Sorry,
to
Brandon.
it's not that hard to build out a high-powered mid-band channel.
But what
but
financial
I'm
incentive
saying
do they have?
27.
What financial incentive does AT&T have to build out their mid-band network?
Their growth on their mobile
No,
base.
it isn't, Sneed. Without FirstNet, what would happen to AT&T? Tell me. Without the FirstNet,
They'd have an old
they
network.
weren't even building, bro.
They'd have an old
Without
network. I agree.
FirstNet, FirstNet's the only reason why we have decent AT&T
That's
LTE
right.
coverage.
Yes.
And
Correct.
that the incentive was getting reimbursed. And right now they have no incentive.
The reimbursement is done.
Yep, it's gone.
Are you guys serious? You think that AT&T is happy about T-Mobile passing them in wireless subscribers?
I don't
Sneed,
really
come
care.
on. They literally made a 5G icon on LTE devices.
Wow.
Sneed.
We're absolutely having a revelation right now. The
So,
hate for the Death Star right now in this room
but
is
hold on, but
crazy.
Sneed,
No.
but
Hold
this
on.
is but
Wait
this is
up.
facts, Sneed. The thing is look, AT&T is moving to fixed. Look, you see how they're starting to bring up fixed wireless? They're concentrated more on the fiber and the ISP side of the company than they're concentrating more on the wireless side that could become more profitable for them in the long run. Because a fiber customer, bro, I'm sorry to say, anything involving landline or hardline or anything like that, they'll jump ship and go to the next company. Spectrum throws them a $5 under, bro, they're gone. You know, that's it, done. A wireless, you get more of a 2-3 year commitment out of the person before they jump ship.
So here's the way I think AT&T is looking at it, and I could be totally wrong. I see I think that they're looking at their wireless network as a way to incentivize their fiber network to their customers and vice versa, and how acquiring customers is easier when you can bundle stuff, right? We've all acknowledged that. You can't bundle if you don't have the fiber. And they're financially motivated to acquire those customers rather than just wireless only customers because they know that they'll stay longer.
Yo, EM, when does AT&T finish the 5G plus the DoD C-band deployment? What quarter, what year?
Let's see, probably end of 24, maybe mid-year 25. I mean, there's markets like mine where they've gone through and done the initial 3.7 build. No DoD anywhere. So they're going to have to reclimb all of those sites.
Same in Jersey, no DoD.
So those types of things just take time. So, but at the same time, what's the incentive if those sites aren't congested? Why bother paying a tower crew to go and put up another panel if there's no dire need? Like, if we're talking to fully robust, all the spectrum available, mid-year 25 at the earliest.
That's why I said 2027.
Bro, 2027 is crazy long.
But Sneed, what if they're right now in talks with FirstNet trying to get some money reimbursed? They may just wait it out until they get a FirstNet contract that says, hey, for every C-band site you get billed, you get reimbursed.
Yeah, but C-band has nothing to do with FirstNet.
Yeah.
No, but they can get reimbursed by FirstNet.
No, FirstNet was attached to band 14.
It's not enough.
Hey, so I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to this, but have you guys been seeing how Verizon has been concentrating very, very deep on the front line stuff lately? And I'm talking about very deep.
Yeah, it's a big focus. Yeah, absolutely.
But you know why, right?
Yeah.
Because I got sources, and I'm not talking about the regular source. I'm talking about another source that I actually gained. That's telling me right now that FirstNet
1 terabyte backhaul.
That FirstNet contract might be in jeopardy because it's not being fulfilled the way it was supposed to be.
I mean, if that's credible, that's huge.
Bro,
McDaniel told you that, Carlos?
No, what the hell, bro? Why am I gonna talk to Randall's son, bro? Get out of here.
So if that was to happen, wouldn't AT&T have to climb back all those towers and take down band 14?
Oh no, they'll just abandon it in place like they do everything else.
No. But we're not. So this is what I heard from my source. They'll let them keep band 14 if it does happen, but the 4.9 right now is the key. The 4.9. And that's going to be a big player on that spectrum, bro. That's a lot of spectrum, bro. That could be used for first responders for capacity.
Bro, I doubt that because they spent all this money on AT&T, and now they're just going to abandon it and leave.
But the thing is that right now, this is why you think Verizon's been concentrating so much on frontline, bro. And what my sources tell me is making sense. It's making a lot of sense, bro, because a lot of spots you still don't got band 14 up, bro. They went and modernized the site, but band 14 is not working. It's not on. And that's some of the issues that are being brought up, that they're using the fund bucks from the FirstNet to supposedly have gone up and do this, but the band 14 is not on that site, but everything else is.
That's one of the. That's pretty. If that's true, that's pretty huge. I'm gonna wait. Believe it till. I won't believe it till I see it, I guess.
But Carlos, in order to get the reimbursement, they have to have band 14 up. Correct? That's what I was told when I was working.
Of course. But bro, if you just say you went up and put the site up, but you're not broadcasting band 14, but it's there. What does it matter? It's there. There's sites, bro, that just recently got put up here, bro, that have no band 14,
But do they have all
and
the
they
other
recently got
bands?
put up. They have everything else, even 77.
So then
The no
what's the point
14.
of complaining?
The four
You're
the
getting a
14
band
is
14
coming,
only device?
but the 14 is coming in from 3-4 miles away from the next nearest site. So when you have a FirstNet phone, that's the problem. FirstNet phones, band 14 is primary no matter
Primary.
what.
Right.
So that means even though I'm next to an AT&T tower that has all this capacity, all this lovely stuff, I'm still latched on 3.5-4 miles away to that band 14 only site.
Alright, AT&T got to fix that ASAP.
I've shown
They
it
had
to
to
Sneed.
call
Sneed
up.
knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
I've
every
shown it to
tower
him
site
before.
here has band 14, Los.
I've
Like
gone
in
to many
Ohio, for
places, and
example, they're all modern.
well, yeah, of course, that's AT&T country, bro. You're talking about the
Yeah.
bells,
Yeah.
everything bells,
Right.
Cincinnati bell, all that stuff,
Yes.
Of course, they're gonna take care of their bells,
So you're saying Nevada's on some weakness?
Bro, it's not just here in Nevada. I've been to Utah, to Arizona,
Colorado.
where is it? Idaho recently.
Colorado.
I haven't been to Colorado recently.
Bearded Dragon says band 14 is not there everywhere.
And I believe him, bro. If it's not, I believe him.
And he works with the FirstNet Authority peeps,
Exactly.
Mac, if Mac kind of highlighted what I was trying to get across earlier. AT&T's not congested, and their modernized LTE network is totally fine for mobile users. And they have no incentive to add capacity because they're not building out fixed wireless.
Correct.
That's why fiber is more important.
But in markets where they have 40% share or better, they are struggling with capacity. Speeds have slowed. See, I'm starting to hear rumblings of that, so those markets at least have to be addressed.
I'm sure they will.
But they're only going to do it where capacity is needed. If capacity is not needed, then they're not going to even bother with it until later on.
My biggest problem is them turning off N77 radios at night to save power. And the reason that pisses me off, I'm going to tell you why. The N77 channel has the best latency on the AT&T network. So if they cut off the N77 for power, you're going to be on an LTE band or some other low-band 5G band where the latency is going to double. Like right now, I'm getting 15 millisecond ping on N77 5G+.
That's
if they were to turn it off,
on the cloud.
Right. If they were to turn it off, Los, I'd be in the upper 20s.
You know what I am on N77?
Huh?
I'm in the 80s on N77 here because I'm on the cloud.
My latency,
Come on, man. They're going to be
Carlos. AT&T has servers here. AT&T has
they do
has edge services here.
But
this is AT&T country, dog.
Has anyone seen N77 actually turn off? Because I have not seen it.
I guess Lawrence has seen it.
I've seen it, bro. My home site.
So what happens at like 12, 1 o'clock? You just can't connect to it?
Once the load is off. Bro. It could be at 11.
Bro, literally. So
it's on demand. So like, let's say like 500 people decided to come over your house and they were all on AT&T and they were pinging to the same sector. All that shit would cut on.
So this is what happens, Steve. So I kind of put it to the test like what you were explaining. So what I did is I kept running a speed test through, the open speed. You know how we created our own speed test server that speed test nonstop. Yeah. So I kept it running on 2 phones, and it was picking up at 77, and it was like, I let it pass till like 12:45 at night, and then right when I stopped those phones, I shit you not, bro. I like a minute or two later, no more N77, bro, for the rest of the night.
Bro, I thought they were like Motel 6. They leave the light on for us.
Have you seen that EM N77 turn off at night at your place?
Well, we pay you the big money, bro.
Honestly, no, I haven't.
Okay.
So, and I don't know. I don't see a problem with it. That's when the network is least used. I understand the latency thing being an issue, but in general, if it saves...
It's not really a big issue, EM. It's just something I would notice, like let's say that I was gaming and I started to see spiked loaded pings.
that's a fair like concern. I'd be more concerned if you were seeing latency spikes on your fiber at night. But
and speed. And I like my AT&T access because you know the access that we got, bro. We got
It's the
that
best.
that go. Yeah.
I
And I'm
wish
not,
I wish Verizon would give it to me like that. I mean, the 5G Ultra
bro.
Wideband's on QCI 7, so I'm good with it. But I wish all around all my connections were like that.
Exactly.
But
But the problem is at the end of the day, bro. It's like, what's the like why are they doing stuff like this? They give you such goat access and everything, but at the end, they're pinching, bro. It makes you feel like Sprint 2.0 in a way.
Damn.
Bro, they're
remember,
offering discounts too. Remember
I bet you 20 to 30% of AT&T customers still have the data stream on.
All
So
right.
it doesn't even matter.
I wanna ask one more question to each of you right now. There are
Yeah.
3 mobile network operators that are legitimate competitors, right? Let's leave Dish out of this for a moment. All right. You have Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Carlos, I start with you. Who,
What?
sir, in your opinion, is selling the wolf tickets? Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile? Who's selling the wolf tickets? And tell me
Of
why.
what?
As a mobile network operator, it's everything. Who's selling the wolf tickets? Because I'm walking away from this conversation with you all feeling like AT&T, in your opinion, is selling wolf tickets.
Dude. You already know what my answer is going to be, bro. Come on, man. The thong, bro.
So we just railroaded AT&T for the last 30 minutes. And now you're telling me that T-Mobile's selling the wolf tickets.
But
How the hell does this make any sense, dog?
Because at least, okay, AT&T might be screwing up on certain things or not doing it like how they're supposed to, but at the end of the day, bro, I gotta keep it 100, bro. At least with AT&T, I can hold on to my call. Earlier the guys know I was trying to make a call and the call wouldn't connect on T-Mobile, bro. I kept having to hang up and reconnect and hope that it would work, and finally it did. Like after the 10th try. Like that's the type of stuff that I'm experiencing with T-Mobile, and we had somebody that's not even involved in the community that does not do anything cellular that drove through here, and it's No Radio's uncle, I think it is, right, or brother-in-law. He drove through Vegas, bro, and he said T-Mobile sucks in Vegas. He said it is the worst experience I ever had with T-Mobile. Is right here in Vegas.
All right, EM Tech, who's selling the wolf tickets, dog?
all right. I don't think I honestly, and this is my 100% honest opinion, I don't think any of them are. I just think that they each have their own priorities right now. AT&T's priority is broadband, home broadband. Verizon's is their 5G network. T-Mobile's is acquiring customers or whatever. I don't know. T-Mobile too.
Expanding coverage.
I get it.
But there's still, as much as I will ram on T-Mobile for some of the practices that they have put in place, they have a good network. It's not good in every place, but it's a lot better than it used to be. And reality, none of them.
I agree with you, Tech.
I can agree with you, bro, that T-Mobile has gotten better compared to what they used to be. But, bro, they used to be so good before the 5G here, bro. I won't deny it, man. Steve, you know, bro. I used to talk highly about it too, bro. You know.
Oh yeah.
I used to upload my video. I started uploading my videos on T-Mobile, bro.
Well,
That's
it's gonna get worse.
Coming from me.
Man,
well, it's gonna get.
That should say a lot.
Let's just say it's gonna get worse once you only have 5 megahertz on LTE.
Yo, Brandon, can I get you in on this, Brandon? Who's selling wolf tickets, dog?
Stanky.
Oh, come on, bro. Well, at least Brandon's true to the game. He's.
Let's face it, Sneed. He doesn't give a perk, and I can't believe that they don't leave the light on that night, bro. That's bullshit.
Yes.
I mean, come on, if you're doing fixed wireless and you turn the fucking band 77 off, dude, and I can't do my VR shit.
Oh, shit.
Bro, how you gonna be getting jiggy with it, right?
No. All right, Shay, let me get you in on this, bro. Who's selling wolf tickets, dog?
I feel like the biggest company would be AT&T. Like, they're the ones that are turning N77 off. Bro, over here in Jersey, I already know there's no AT&T fiber, but they still text me and fucking email me, oh, you should sign up for AT&T fiber, even though they know I'm in Jersey and my billing address is in Jersey, and they still want me to get the goddamn fiber. I'd love to get the fiber if you come here, but they will never come here.
All right, man. It's mixed. I hear a little bit of AT&T wolf tickets. I'm hearing some T-Mobile wolf tickets. Bryant, man, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what's going on?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right.
Bryant,
My
who's
answer,
selling wolf tickets, dog?
it's T-Mobile, man. You know that. It's T-Mobile. It's T-Mobile, man.
Oh,
T-Mobile.
shit.
They own no fiber anywhere. They are benefiting from getting a whole lot of spectrum from the Sprint acquisition, which is great for them, but that's all they have to sell. I don't see how they can compete long term.
Hold on. How do they have all that to sell, Mr. Brian? If almost all their 41 is leased except for what they got on auction 108.
Exactly.
That is true.
That's all they have to sell at this particular period of time is a huge amount of RF spectrum and a lot of capacity on in that particular portion of the business. But they don't want any fiber. They're not competing in fiber to the prim. They have no way to offload their network going forward. So that means they're always going to be looking towards the next auction, which is extremely expensive. They have this whole price lock in thing for life. They have no way to really grow their business. They have no cards to play going forward. Um, I really kind of feel a little bit bad for them because they pigeonholed themselves in such a way that they won't be able to compete long term. And now they're not the cheapest game in town because Big Cable has stepped in. So what are they going to do going forward? They don't have any cards to play. Meanwhile, Verizon still has an ace or two in the hole, and AT&T does as well. They've got spectrum that they're trying to deploy. So does Verizon. Both of them are in the fiber game heavy as far as fiber to the prim programs are concerned. Verizon stepping it up as far as what they're offering with their perks and whatnot. And then, of course, they're also the king in the MVNO space because they're the ones who have signed all the agreements to, house all of the network build and everything for all the MVNOs mostly. So those guys have guns in the holster still. And T-Mobile's, they're kind of done right now, in my opinion. Going forward, they have no cards to play. They're
All
done.
right,
Damn.
Jarrett says that if you go by customer ads, Verizon is selling wolf tickets because nobody wants to buy them.
Well, when you're the largest customer, or when you have the largest customer base in the game, you don't necessarily get the largest subscriber ads. It doesn't generally work that way. So when you're the
That is
largest, you're trying to
100%
focus
true.
on when you're the largest, you're trying to focus on profitability and retaining your customer base, not necessarily growing your customer base faster than everyone else. So
Sneed.
the mindset of Verizon is a whole lot different than the mindset at T-Mobile. T-Mobile is the scrappy eighth seed that's trying to shoot threes because they're not supposed to be here. Whereas you're talking about the Lakers, who have 17 titles, they expect to win, and so that's kind of the mindset that Verizon comes into the game with. They're not looking to win the customer acquisition battle from the standpoint of winning wireless subscribers, traditional phone ads, because it's extremely expensive to do that. So they don't have a problem getting 50 to 60,000 ads a quarter as long as they're controlling churn and being as profitable as the market will allow them to be. That's the goal for Verizon. The
So
goal for
Jarrett,
T-Mobile is growth at any cost, and that's what's
Yeah.
hurting them because that growth is going to eventually kick them in the butt when they start to have cell sites that are triggering and they need to offload them. And where are they going to offload them? Well, they're going to have to just go to Verizon and AT&T and ask for bigger pipes for their backhaul and their front haul. So,
So
I mean, I don't know, that's where you're at.
So, Jarrett, to kind of respond to your comment here, nobody wants to buy Verizon, but big cable is growing, and that's off the back of Verizon,
Everybody wants
right?
to buy Verizon.
I mean,
Everybody wants to buy AT&T as well.
AT&T is averaging like 600,000-700,000 net adds a quarter.
That's scary.
T-Mobile's averaging. I don't know how to do anything with those free lines, but let's just call it 800,000. But big cable adds that. Big cable has 900,000, 800,000 a quarter. That's Verizon network access, Jarrett. So I don't.
So I don't know if you've noticed this either, Sneed. So a lot of when Verizon, like, you know how their marketing kind of sucks, but haven't you noticed that when a lot of people go to Verizon, because I've already asked going to different stores, I'll walk in real quick just to ask questions, and they say that a lot of their new customer base is actually not by advertisements, actually by word of mouth from a current customer, long-term customer.
Boom.
It's
Very
always
true.
been like that. Always
Very
been
true.
like that with them.
Very true.
Yep, that is so true.
So I think that's why they don't spend as much on advertisement, because word of mouth is basically giving them free advertisement, so they can save some of that money.
That, and it's extremely expensive to build a network that they do. It's really, really expensive. They just spent, they just spent almost $53 billion on C-band spectrum, and so now they have like $130 billion in debt. It's extremely expensive to build the way that they do, spend the amount of capex that they do, and out advertise somebody else. You can't do it all. You got to kind of take your pick your poison. And if Verizon's going to choose, it seems to me like they're choosing network priority. And I think that's probably the right thing to do, because at the end of the day, they're caring for a lot of customers, whether it be their own native base or MVNOs or to some degree T-Mobile.
All right, Jarrett.
I mean, they have stuff to do.
To respond to Jarrett, it doesn't matter why they're going to big cable. The fact is that they are.
Yeah.
And the fact is that they're on Verizon. So we can argue semantics all day and night, but what is the outcome? The outcome is these users are on the Verizon network. That is money not going to AT&T or T-Mobile. So you have to look at the outcome. It doesn't matter the journey if the outcome is these customers are leaving Verizon but staying on the Verizon network. And to kind of address Mac's comment, they absolutely are coming from Verizon. Big cable adds 900,000 customers. They move from Verizon all the time. They want Verizon, but they'll take it cheaper. And in fact, some of them don't even know that they're going to be on Verizon, but they don't skip a beat.
So I'd like to comment on that as well. Let's be honest, guys. Those people who are going to big cable for wireless aren't just coming from Verizon. You know, the leader
They're coming from AT&T also.
They're coming from T-Mobile as well. So T-Mobile had the highest churn in fourth quarter 22. It wasn't Verizon, it wasn't AT&T. AT&T was number one. Verizon was number two. T-Mobile was last. So they're starting to feel the pain as well from a standpoint of trying to compete on price with big cable. Like, it's working, guys. It's not just coming from Verizon. Again, Verizon didn't have the highest churn in fourth quarter. It was T-Mobile. So all three of the major MVNOs, the major MNOs are feeling, the competition in that space.
Mac.
And so if I'm Verizon, I'm in the best position, because even if I do lose a customer, they're on my network, so I'm still getting some revenue. Whereas T-Mobile and AT&T, they're not getting any revenue from losses to big cable.
Mac, I don't know how long you've been watching the channel, but we have had professional data collectors and surveyors on the show, like Recon Analytics. We know the data. We know where the customers are coming from. I don't come up here make assumptions. I listen to the industry experts. I don't need to make assumptions. I'm not in the business of making assumptions when I make claims or whatever. I don't need to do that.
And
you don't like, when we look at Verizon's total connections, they don't change. If anything, they increase their total connections. The problem is their branded customer numbers were poor for 2022. but then big cable customers flourished in 2022. That's simple math. If big cable is growing at an accelerated pace and Verizon branded is going down, that's where some of the ads are coming from. You get a little bit from T-Mobile and a little bit from AT&T too. AT&T gets hurt because of one main thing. They're DSL customers. They're leaving. Right? And they don't have a catch for those customers. Right? So they're looking at T-Mobile for options for home internet. They're looking at Verizon fixed wireless for options. Right? That's why we see Verizon adding 200,000, 250,000, fixed wireless connections. You just got to look at the numbers. And you could kind of see where the movement is coming from and where it's going to.
Yeah, Ryan talks about T-Mobile's churn getting better and not worse versus Verizon. I mean, we're still in an era where T-Mobile's most likely leaving out those Sprint customers in their churn numbers. I don't care what they say publicly. They're definitely not including them. And on top of that, Verizon's churn was god awful in Q3 and it got better in Q4. So they're bouncing back and forth right now, and they're going to be able to mitigate churn as they build out C-band and can keep customers instead of losing them to big cable.
Max, send me your email address. I'm going to bring Roger from Recon Analytics here on the show, and you could tell him this. This I got to see.
Well, I mean, I agree with Mac from the standpoint of a lot of the ads coming to big cable aren't just coming from Verizon. I just said that a few minutes ago.
It's balanced.
It's balanced. It's balanced.
But it's a lot. It's if they're adding 900,000 customers a quarter, that's 300,000 from Verizon.
Agreed.
That's 300,000 from AT&T. That's 300,000 from T-Mobile.
That's true.
That's a lot.
That's true. You're right.
I'm going to show you why that's a lot. I'm going to show you why. Because if it wasn't happening, AT&T would have 1.2 million net ads. T-Mobile would have 1.5 million net ads. You see what I mean? That's why it's some important numbers.
That's true.
But I don't know what I'm talking about, right, Mac? Thank you.
I'm with you, Sneed. I'm with you there. I just wanted to make sure that, I pointed out that it's not just Verizon that's hurting from, some of these tremendous deals. Yeah.
How do we explain the fact that Verizon revenues are still strong if they're purging customers?
I just told you guys. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. It's just because, Verizon's well defended itself, from pretty much the onslaught of anybody. They got the MVNO deals locked up. They got the fiber that's going into the ground as far as the One Fiber program. They got the Fios stuff going. They got the 5G rollout that's going as far as Ultrawide band. They're doing everything that they need to do in order to try to defend, their market share and their market leadership. So that's why the revenues continue to grow. They've also, of course, done some price hikes too. So, I mean, I think they're hitting on all cylinders in that way.
I've seen the port numbers. Some quarters, AT&T has been devastated by big cable.
Agreed.
I've seen quarters where T-Mobile was devastated by big cable.
Yep.
The only company that doesn't get devastated by big cable is Verizon.
Yep. And it's because of those MVNO deals, man. Verizon is very, very smart. People could talk about Hans all they want and say Hans is this and Hans is that. Yo, he's been making some good decisions. His leadership team has made some very shrewd decisions. They may not talk about it very much on investor calls.
Well, that's the problem.
There are reasons for that. Well, there are reasons for that. Yeah, you're right. That's true. There are reasons for that, though. I think they kind of punch a little bit softly. They have their reasons, but I will say they've made some really, really good decisions in order to be able to protect their business going forward, because they know they're not going to be able to charge probably what they feel they're worth. They're going to have to, be where they are from a pricing standpoint. But the best way to kind of still be able to make the money is to get the partnerships with as many of these MVNOs as possible, with as many of these content providers as possible. That's why I like the move that they made with Plus Play. That's extremely smart and it's innovative and no one else is doing it. And it makes a lot of sense to get those partnerships now so that you can promote sticky relationships with your customer base, the customer base that actually has the ability to still pay bills on time in the middle of a recession, in the middle of high inflation. They haven't really seen a huge jump off as far as people paying their bills late or anything like that. AT&T has, T-Mobile has. I mean, there's been some good stuff going on at Verizon. People just, I don't know, they just love to hate that company for whatever reason. So.
What Roger talked about a while ago still surprises me that the most price-conscious customer is on AT&T.
Doesn't make sense because their pricing is almost identical. It's almost identical to Verizon.
I'll tell you why it makes sense. Which carrier offers the most number of discounts?
AT&T.
Promotional, organizational, bundle. It's always AT&T.
Because, you have to do that. Yeah, that's true.
You see what, and let's not forget that in the case of AT&T, they're coming in with this aggressive switcher promos every quarter, right? They've always been really aggressive. Customers got used to that. Where's my free phone?
New and existing customers get the same deal.
You see, and Verizon obviously has the most resilient customer. T-Mobile branded. They picked T-Mobile for a reason. You know why? Because they hate Verizon and they hate AT&T. Something happened in their past and they can't get over it. Something happened. Verizon said or did something. AT&T messed up the billing. They are on T-Mobile for a reason, folks. They don't want to go anywhere else. The Sprint customer said bye-bye if they were leaving T-Mobile. They left already. And you know where they went? AT&T.
AT&T, yep. I got a lot of Sprint customers when I was working there.
I already know, dog.
That was the number one play because they were the first
to offer
that promo.
Who's the most who's the most cost conscious customer, EM Tech, when all four were cooking?
The Sprint customer, absolutely.
Dog, 100%. they were paying taxes on their lines and that's it. It was free lines.
Yeah.
Dudes were going to get that kickstart for $15.
I mean, Sprint capitalized on offering a rate plan that would make no money, but could get people who would traditionally stay on prepaid on postpaid. And then those customers have now just kind of been jumbled into the T-Mobile mess, and they've left. It was a bad time for Sprint, and
that's why they went under, because the free stuff is not sustainable. And now you have T-Mobile doing the same thing, and it's not sustainable. And it's why they had to lower CapEx from 13 billion to what, 8 to 10? Like, guys, it's not sustainable. How are they going to compete long term? They can't. It's not sustainable. And now they got that plus the price lock. I mean, what are they going to do? If I'm an engineer at T-Mobile, if I'm an engineer at T-Mobile, I'm pissed because you're handing me ingredients to make a boo-boo burger, and you're expecting me to give you a filet mignon, and I don't have. You gave me ingredients for a boo-boo burger, man. What do you want me to do with that? I'm an engineer. Do not disrespect my craft like that. That's what I would say if it was me. You're disrespecting me right now. You're not giving me the tools to compete long term. You gave me all of this spectrum. How are you expecting me to build? You've lowered.
That food's gonna be called a Lulu burger, not a boo boo burger.
Yeah, well, just trying to be politically correct and trying to keep it.
So Brian, what do you think is gonna happen? Because tomorrow is mergers off. They can do whatever they want. Merger agreements are done. What do you think is going to happen within the next couple of weeks?
Well, I mean, I think they'll be, conservative going forward for a little while. But if they're smart, they'll get rid of that price lock mess because it's not sustainable. They can't compete long term if they continue to do that. So get rid of that. And the second thing, go get some goddamn fiber. Go buy some fiber. You can't compete with a Verizon or an AT&T with no fiber that you own. And they can't afford to do it right now. They don't have the money. They don't have it. So, like I said, if I'm a T-Mobile engineer, I am.
They have money for stock buybacks.
They got money for stock buybacks, and they got money to purchase. They got money to purchase prepaid companies, but they can't buy any fiber. It doesn't even make sense, guys. And it's like it infuriates me. Because I can see through the fluff, I can see through the pink clothes, and I'm like, okay, all right, you're a nice
investor. That investor is hard to shake, right? Like they were convinced that there were going to be synergies out of the merger. They're still waiting.
Yeah, I mean, investors aren't always smart. Just like consumers aren't always smart. Just like I'm not always smart. It happens. But at the end of the day, if you're truly plugged into what's going on and what it takes to be a viable telco, you can't compete with free lines. Because you're adding all of this traffic, and then you're turning around and asking your engineering team to figure out a way to keep these guys happy, and there's no extra revenue. Again,
Brian,
if I'm an engineer, don't disrespect me like that. Don't ask me
I,
to build you a Eiffel Tower and you're giving me ingredients for what'd you tell me to call it, Sneak?
A Lulu burger.
A Lulu burger. Come on, what are you doing right now? Don't disrespect
but
me,
my
man.
but my thing is right now, T-Mobile's looking at churn and churn's going up.
Yes, it is.
Competition's hard,
Yes, it is.
and you already know they're trying to keep their customers. If you're on Magenta Max and you call up trying to leave, they'll give you $10 bill credits, and we've seen that on that's official document. And they're trying to get T-Mobile Tuesdays, trying to do anything to get that customer back and trying to make customers stay. And that's the thing. If there's
Yep.
now they're going to be spending more money to make the customer stay, so they're going to have less money on building out the network.
Which is why, again, I think the business model that Verizon has is the most. It's the one that makes the most sense and allows them to be solvent through all of this craziness that's going on right now. You're not going to be able to keep every customer because there are so many customers looking for the absolute cheapest option available, which is MVNO right now. So you might as well get the agreements with the MVNOs and keep them as happy as possible and win the value customer that way. And then continue to have the best doggone network money can buy and make sure that you also combine that with a very good value proposition as far as perks are concerned, which Verizon has done. The 5G Get More plan is outstanding. The Do More and Play More are solid as well. They're good from a perk standpoint. And then whatever you want that's not included in the plan, go to Plus Play and get it from there. I mean, that's the best that's the best any telco can do right now. Now, yes.
The only thing I disagree with you is
on a $90 plan. Ugh.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, it is what it is. If I'm Verizon, God dog it, $90 is a steal for the network that's provided. It's a steal. And the customer has the ability to disagree. They can go to an MVNO, they can go to TracFone, they can get that network from there. That'll be the loss that Verizon's willing to take, I'm sure. But $90 is a goddamn steal. Respectfully, I'm sorry to curse, but it is a steal for what the customer is getting right now. Absolutely,
I really
stand by
wish
that.
It's a good plan.
These carriers. I really wish these carriers just get rid of these perks and just save the money and say,
But they can't.
I'll give you $10 off your line.
But the perks are what's keeping the customer happy. The only reason AT&T isn't offering is because they can't afford it.
What if you already have the perk free from somewhere else? Like, I'm never gonna go to Verizon because I already have the whole Disney bundle.
And that's cool.
There's no perk for me.
And that's cool. Like, you're not going to be able to please everyone, but there is a large enough contingent of customers who don't have the perks already and they're looking for it from their telco. And Verizon wants to be able to, market itself as a premium brand. They can't just do it with the network. They have to add the perks. So they're smart to go grab the perks and whatever they don't grab and include in their plan, put it in the Plus Play platform. It's a smart value proposition. Put it in that platform and try to catch as many customers as you can. And the ones that you can't, hope that you can get them with the MVNO deal. That's the only other option that you have. Otherwise, what the customer, if we continue this race to the bottom, as far as pricing is concerned, what the customer is going to have to accept is a lesser performing network overall. And that's across all carriers. And I know that's not what the customer wants. So they're going to eventually, the bubble's going to burst and it's going to sway back into the favor of the telcos, and you're going to start seeing pricing rise first with the MVNOs and then with postpaid. It's going to swing. The pendulum's going to swing back because this isn't sustainable. We're talking about $15 that people are able to get cell phone service. That's ridiculously low, and people can't possibly think that's going to be forever. It's just not sustainable, especially not for the type of speeds that people are getting. I mean, anytime you think 100 megs down is not good, or that's strained, or whatever adjective people use to describe it, it's congested. That's not congested in 2023. 100 megs down, especially if you're in a mid-major city, that is not congested. That is a very well-performing network, because chances are that.
But what about the future?
Well, I mean,
if these networks build out for the future.
That's true, but as the networks continue to build, the pricing's going down, not up. So even if a customer is getting 100 megs down, if you're paying $30, you're getting your money's worth, man. If you're paying $15, you're getting your money's worth. People right now, they're being a little greedy. I understand we're all humans, but the bubble's going to burst eventually. And what you're going to see, I give it about a year, 2 years at the most, is you're going to start to see pricing increase on the MVNO side. Because again, the Spectrum One, that's only lasting for 1 year. So that's not a profitable plan for Spectrum.
Yeah, but that's
I disagree. Hold up. I disagree with that because Spectrum is deploying their own CBRS.
So
and they're going to start selling that.
How long is it going to take them to build that? And with their CBRS, how is it going to be engineered?
They don't have to do anything. All they got to do is put the radio up.
Ashay, hold on. The projection for that offload is 1/3 of the data. That means if the average customer uses 9 gigs, let's just use that as an arbitrary number. If the average customer uses 9 gigs at Spectrum, 1/3 of those gigs, which is 3 gigs, will come off of Verizon. They're still paying for 6 gigs.
Oh yeah, I agree that, but
and that's best case scenario, money. And that's going to take about a few years.
I don't think it's going to take that long.
It's going to take longer than you think it is, man.
Because remember, they already own their own backhaul. All they got to do is put on. Have you seen the deployment? How fast it's been in North Carolina, where their test market is?
How fast has it been?
It's been going pretty fast.
And how much have they been able to offload? And how are they building CBRS? Because the standard for CBRS
strand mount. Well, I mean, it's there. They don't even have to have permits or anything.
And so, how are they deploying CBRS? Is it just for downlink, or is it downlink and uplink?
Downlink and uplink.
Are you sure? So they have they're gonna use that for downlink and uplink, because most carriers are just using it. They're building it as a TDD. Time division duplex, so it's just downlink only. So if it's helping them on the downlink, then that means it's not helping their calling. That's just for data. So you mean to tell me? So you mean to tell me they're relying on CBRS and they're building it as time division duplex, and that's what's going to save them?
Yeah, Brian, they're trying to offload about 1/3 of the total data usage for customers.
And also remember, your modem is also going to be connected to it. So it means if you're outside of my house and I have Spectrum and you have Spectrum Mobile, then you're going to be using my modem's data. You're not going to be using Verizon, even if we don't have a strand mount.
So be it.
Pimpin', if you want in, let me know.
And the thing what's going to happen is they're going to sell that to Comcast. So now Comcast customers can be on Spectrum Mobile.
So be it. But that pricing is still going to increase. Again, Spectrum only has that one plan for a year. So either way, what I said, my prediction, I believe it's still going to happen. The promotion that they're offering, that's getting so many of the ads that they're getting, is only for a year. Then after that, it's big cable. The pricing balloons. Sneed talks about it all the time. So as the MVNO pricing starts to increase, then you're going to start to see postpaid pricing increase as well. Why wouldn't it? It's going to converge. It has to, because all these carriers, you've got to begin to be able to get a return on all of this outstanding network performance that everybody's talking about. It's not going to stay $15 forever. It can't. You got to return some sort of value back to the business and back to the investor. It can't just stay at $15. It's going to increase. And when it does, that's when momentum swings back into the hands of the MNOs. It has to, guys.
Otherwise, the thing is, it's also fiber contracts that they have with Verizon,
which are getting smaller by the day. Verizon's addressed that. It's getting smaller by the day. Guys, listen. Okay, so listen. The One Fiber initiative addresses that, so that Verizon doesn't have to go and offset and get a third party to be able to get their backhaul and front haul. That's already being addressed.
There's places where Spectrum they have their own One Fiber and they can't use it because they already have a Spectrum agreement that they have to uphold.
Yeah, but that's only for a certain period of time. After that particular contract,
they still have to wait.
I agree, but that's not from sea to shining sea. That's only in select markets. In places that Verizon can offload, they're doing it right now as we speak. And they've been doing it for the last 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, Brian's right. Like, those backhaul contracts that they have, they don't last forever. It's not like...
Oh, yeah, it's a long-term year. It's like a 5-10 term year.
Some of them are 25 years, and that's fine. But it doesn't. I understand one fiber isn't going to address every single circuit that Verizon has for every single cell site.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
But for their entire new build, all of it is being served with their own fiber. And for the embedded base that Verizon does have, all of those third party, they are yanking as many of them as they possibly can off of those circuits and using their own fiber. So that particular
that is not true, because in North Carolina, Verizon has legit said they have MCI over there, which is their one fiber, and Verizon has said, "Hey, Spectrum, build out this fiber to this cell phone tower."
Yeah, like I said, there are some markets where that's going on.
There's still some markets that's still doing that. So
I don't disagree. You're right. But what I'm saying
I don't know about the whole scale. That's the thing.
Agreed. So, like I said, you're right. In some markets, there will be times.
So what do you think, EM Tech? Because he knows more.
I mean, in reality, what Verizon has done so far is the way it's going to be. I mean, they've built out in major metros. You're not going to find them running fiber to a cell site out in the middle of the woods. That's away from a metro.
Agree.
That's not going to happen. At least not for whatever amount of time. I don't know. But the only thing that I was wanting to bring up here is that they've said publicly that they're almost done, if not done in a lot of markets with the one fiber build. So
if you believe that, you're crazy. But I hear you. They have said that. I acknowledge it.
I
do acknowledge it.
That
they have said
it. Believe it, but at least from what they had originally projected whenever they started that project, they said that they're almost done. That is, or done completely. Does that mean that they've cut over all of their sites? Probably not. Does that mean that they've added all of whatever dedicated customers that they can get in that area? Probably not. So there's still revenue there.
Yeah, but... you remember my tweet, man? I took a picture of the little pedestal. Yeah, the MCI fiber pedestal, and I said I really hope that they reevaluate whatever terminus they think they've reached with one fiber. You know, I really hope it gets reinvigorated, or they, make a declaration in 2024. Hey, things worked out really well. We really like that the returns on this. Let's do it again. Let's get the band back together for more fiber. I mean, I think that's really important for them.
It is, and if you remember, there was a Fierce Wireless article that came out a few months ago where, what's his name, Sampath? He came out and said,
CEO?
Yeah, before he said that that was on the table, and I think we're talking like long term. That is very smart.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's on the table. It's on the table, and it's going to happen. I
personally believe that's how they win. I think it's the winning formula.
It's how you control costs.
Yes.
And it's how you control your network performance end to end.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to do it. It's going to be how you're able to control your network. It's going to be how you're able to control cost, and it's going to be how you're able to control performance. Verizon knows that.
I swear, every time Verizon or AT&T talks about fiber ownership, I swear, if you watch the market, their stock goes up.
Yeah, because
I swear, it's like the analysts, the researchers, the investors know the owner's economics angle is huge.
And I want to point out what this guy Mike said. T-Mobile's been a cell phone company all this time. Why do they have to have fiber now?
What? Who asked that?
This Mike, he made a comment. They can't scale capacity when they have to reevaluate leases and sign new contracts that increase cost every time they need to bump up the bandwidth to their cell sites. Their cost is going to go up exponentially until they start taking ownership of their fiber network, which is why Verizon and AT&T are winning.
Which is why price lock was such a bad idea from the start. Price locking forever? Are you crazy? Again, if I'm a T-Mobile engineer, the first time you have a town hall or anything, I'm asking Siebert, has he lost his mind? I'm putting in applications to Verizon and AT&T that very day. Again, do not disrespect what engineers are asked to do. You're asking me to keep all these customers. You're adding all these free lines and you're locking in these deals, and you're not giving me any way to meet my performance agreement.
So check this out.
I'm trying to figure out where you get this engineer, because I haven't seen an engineer at T-Mobile.
So check this out. And this is a comment from Mike Johnson, the one about them owning fiber now. To show you how much of a big deal fiber is, T-Mobile's been building out N41 for 3 years, right? If fiber wasn't a big deal, then why are they just now starting to put up 10 gig circuits? If fiber wasn't a big deal and wasn't expensive, why didn't they turn it up 2-3 years ago? Why are they turning it up now?
Well, the new radios that are being built, that's the standard. They won't work without a 10 gig circuit, and that's just for the front haul. So if you have three radios.
But my thought process behind this is if the cost wasn't an issue, they would have put up 10 gig circuits 2-3 years ago.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Pumping it up already, but clearly they are cost sensitive.
Yep.
So you guys want 10 gig circuits, you want more capacity. You got to pay the cost to be the boss.
And so when you try to figure out why Verizon's, quote unquote, losing customers, yet their revenue continues to increase, well, you can thank T-Mobile for that. They're one customer that's paying both of those customers for fiber. Because guess what? They're the only mobile network operator that owns no fiber anywhere in any of the 50 states or DC. So again, I'm just trying to figure out why anybody thinks that they can compete long term. I mean, there's a lot
from a consumer standpoint, like the consumer doesn't care. But if you're questioning the viability of the company long term, I think it's a legitimate concern.
Well, right? I mean, I think the educated consumer should care, because if I'm getting the deal that I'm getting, I want to know that you're going to be able to sustain my level of performance. If I for any reason feel that you won't be able to, I don't care about your price lock. Again, the difference in price is only like $20 a month between T-Mobile and Verizon anyway. I'll pay the extra $20 to go with the company that can give me the fiber. Same thing with AT&T. I mean, they're within $5 of Verizon too. It's not like there's a $50 difference between the three carriers. There's not. It's not. It's just not. That's all a mirage. That's just advertising and marketing. If you look at the actual facts, it's like a $20 difference between the three carriers. So you're not talking about going bankrupt to go from T-Mobile to Verizon. So if you can't if you don't have the lifeblood of telecommunications, which is fiber and spectrum, if you can't offer both, I don't want to be with you long term.
Yeah, I wonder, looking at this comment from Mike, he mentions Wi-Fi calling. Why do you think T-Mobile is in a rush to figure out Wi-Fi calling?
Well, we got to figure out an offload somehow. And if they don't have any fiber in the ground and they don't have any fiber to their cells that they own, I mean, you're going to have to offload it somehow. So you might as well use that fiber, AT&T fiber, or that Fios, or whoever it is that you have in order to have that call. Because again, you handed the engineers, ingredients to make a Lulu burger in Snee's words. And so, hey, I mean, if the only tool I have is to offload you off my network right now is Wi-Fi calling, I'm going to offer that too. I feel bad for those guys, man. It's not fair. It's not right. It's disrespectful.
Thanks, Skeller. Appreciate the super chat. It is expensive for them. They're lying through their thongs.
Yep.
Oh, man, we got N41, man. Thanks for the super chat, Geller. N41 man is in the house. Damn, son. Man. Yep. N41 man, millimeter wave man. Yep. Remember that?
No disrespect, but what in the world is Mike Johnson talking about? T-Mobile started in the mid-2000s. They changed the game, and Verizon AT&T trying to catch up as far as crappy service. T-Mobile was the first one to come out with Wi-Fi calling. Well, why do you think they came up with it first, quote unquote? Because the network was crappy when they had LTE, and so they needed it. They needed help, man. Yeah. That's not a badge. No engineer in the industry, I'm sure, wears a badge that says, "Hey, we came up with Wi-Fi calling first." No engineer wants their customers off their network. Look, man, if I'm an engineer, I get paid for this. This is what I do. I don't want you off my network. I don't want to. That's not a solution that I want to present to any customer. I want you on my network. That's my performance agreement if I'm an engineer. So I'm not about to tell anybody happily that I came up with Wi-Fi calling. That's a fail-safe. That's what that is, to keep customers happy enough not to leave. That's not changing the game, sir, with all due respect.
I think the changing of the game comes from the ledger era with the the marketing, the hype, the the shaking up the industry, calling the carriers funny names, the long hair, the pink Converse, the image, right? Creating an identity as this disruptor or whatever. Like I think that stuff was innovative for the time. You know what I'm saying, Brian? I feel like that was.
I'll go with that. I mean, I think that's true. He was a marketing genius, but Laguerre is an old AT&T guy. So is Mike, the new guy, Mike Siebert. The old AT&T guys.
Yeah, they are.
So
Yeah.
John was smart to jump ship when he did because he knew he went to DC and he wrote a bunch of checks that his company couldn't cash. So he got out at the exact right time, and now it's Mike Sievert's baby to try to fill. And he knows he doesn't have the tools in the tool bag to get it done long term either. John was brilliant because he got them where they are.
They got a lot of spectrum, Brian. They do.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of spectrum, but let's be honest, they got lucky, man. Under the Obama,
a lot went their way, right? Like they got the Metro they got the Metro acquisition, they got the failed merger, they got bonuses out of that.
Yep.
They got spectrum, they got roaming, they got money. With the failed merger with AT&T, then they got the Sprint merger. I mean, the way that T-Mobile has assembled itself was from a decade of mergers and failed mergers.
It was luck. It was luck, man. They just got lucky.
Hey, nobody. I call it timing, but yeah, you could call it luck.
It's luck. I mean, come on, Sneak. Let's be honest.
But do give those guys at T-Mobile some credit for executing with the opportunities, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you give a competent engineer the money and the tools, they can build. Yeah. They can build you a network.
Yes,
it's not the engineers, but you have to keep it pumping. In telco, there's no such thing as a project being complete. No, it's never done. You have to keep building because there's always going to be a new subdivision, new businesses, new stuff. That's the American way. It's to keep building, not to stop.
Yo, Carlos,
but the money has to come from somewhere.
Right,
so it's
Carlos
like
donuts, Bryant.
Oh, my man with the donuts. But yeah, it's neat. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, the money has to keep going. And once the luck stops, once the music stops in musical chairs, you got to find a seat and sit down. And I don't see where they have a seat, man. I mean, where's the money going to come from? You don't have anything else to pull out of the hat.
They got a lot of customers. I mean, they just got to figure out how to make it more profitable, right?
Exactly. How are you going to serve them long term? You locked in pricing. You haven't given me any tools. What are you going to do? You've already lowered CapEx. Everybody's lowering, but not that much. I mean, Verizon went from 21 to 19. They went from 13 to 8. I mean, what are we talking about right now? 8 billion? That's it. Verizon spends that on one state. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, let me get you in here. Yeah, let me get EM real quick. He was trying.
Yeah, do you think, man?
No, it wasn't all luck. I will say they did make some very good strategic moves. Like I think the 600 megahertz acquisitions were huge, and that's probably the only thing that saved their network until the merger.
Man,
and I mean, dude, there are areas where T-Mobile has 30 megahertz of low band spectrum where Verizon and AT&T don't even get close.
I mean, yeah, but who's making money off the low band spectrum though? Like that's not the money grab.
But that allows them to expand into areas where they previously had no coverage.
Agreed, that's true. And I mean, I guess okay, I'll give you credit for that, but that's not gonna make you any money. I mean, the low band is cool, but that's not the money grab. That's not where the profits roll in. You can't offer fixed wireless access on 600 megs. What are you going to get? 25 megs down, maybe?
You can't offer fixed wireless, but it gives you a new avenue to acquire new customers. I mean, what do you want them to do? They can't acquire customers if they don't have a network to offer.
Okay, so if they build out the network in those places, EM, can they take share from AT&T and Verizon where those historically have been their markets?
I do think it gives them an opportunity to do that. Yes.
I mean, you can talk to them. I mean, okay, I will concede that point. You're right. But I still stand firmly on the fact that the majority of their success the last 5 to 7 years has been luck, not actual prowess. It's been luck. They did a good job.
But hold up. My thing is, all these acquisitions have been happening. Verizon has been acquiring MCI fiber. They've been doing strategic too. It's not
Absolutely.
Like only T-Mobile is acquiring.
Ashay, they're all doing the same thing. They've all followed the same blueprints. Like in my opinion, and I might get pushback for this. To me, T-Mobile is AT&T Junior.
There's truth to that, but the only thing is that AT&T actually has the assets to continue to be AT&T long term.
Yeah, but what I'm
T-Mobile
saying is
doesn't.
T-Mobile is a spinoff of AT&T, and the
Agreed.
reason I say that is because in 2012, that failed merger gave them what, $3 billion?
Yep, and that's how they
It gave them
improved their
5
LTE.
megahertz of band 12, and it gave them a roaming agreement for 7 years until they got some low band.
Agreed. That's how they got much better in LTE. You're right, but again, that was luck, and that was AT&T's stupidity. Why would you even agree to that? That doesn't even make sense.
And then, well, it was the DOJ that forced the issue with the failed merger.
Well, that's
right?
true, but I mean, those
AT&T
stipulations
being greedy. They were trying to eliminate. They were trying to eliminate a carrier. Basically, what T-Mobile did to Sprint.
Yeah, and I mean, under the previous administration, the Obama administration, they didn't allow one of the big four to purchase each other, and a lot of industry insiders thought, okay, that's the precedence going forward. That's what it's going to be. The big four will always be there. If one of them fails, the government will allow them to fail. Just like always, you sell your assets, and then that spectrum goes to whoever the highest bidder is. Nobody really expected the Trump administration to allow what they allowed. Again, we're talking about two major instances of straight up sheer luck. And I just don't think lightning is going to strike again. I mean, okay, who's coming to save that company? Where's the money going to come from, Sneed? Where's it going to come from? Where's it going to come from, EM Tech? Where's it going to come from, guys?
I got nothing, bro.
Nowhere. I mean, that's been
my thing is,
but that's been my. I 100% agree with you. I'm not trying to I'm just trying to offer different perspective. But that's been my main argument about this T-Mobile situation since the merger closed. They have a lot of debt. They don't have assets to offset the fact that they're spending a ton of money. It doesn't make sense. And when you actually look at the books, they're going to be screwed. Get end of the decade. That's where I'm at.
The wheels are going to fall off. They're going to have to end that promotion as far as locking in prices, which is going to piss off a lot of customers. And AT&T and Verizon are going to be right there saying, "Hey, we told you so. So this is the price point. You trying to come back? You are? All right, cool. Let's get you signed up." I mean, that's where you're at, because you've pretty much put yourself in a box because you wanted to continue the path of growth, right? You had to make sure that you met those growth numbers. But again, it's the engineering team that's getting screwed, because you're adding all of this extra consumer, all this extra business, all this extra traffic onto networks that you're asking me as an engineer to support, for example, but you're not giving me any extra tools to be able to have, to care for these customers.
Well, you know how I knew that something was wrong? When Mike Sievert was directly asked about quality of service and QCI and performance guarantees on the T-Mobile Home Internet, and they said, is there a time frame when you guys are going to do it? Are you exploring it? And he literally said no.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, that is screaming capacity concerns.
Yep.
They are basically saying, we can't guarantee anything. You're going to be on the lowest priority in case the mobile users take all the usage, right? T-Mobile Home Internet is so far down on the priority. A free line on T-Mobile has higher priority,
which is ridiculous.
A free test drive line has more priority. The hotspot data on a free test line has more priority than T-Mobile Home Internet,
which is ridiculous. And it makes perfect sense to me that they're going to the FCC and banging on the door for that extra spectrum that they purchased. They freaking need it. So if I were them, I would be doing that as well.
Think about that, Brian. The hotspot data on a T-Mobile test drive line has more priority than the T-Mobile Home Internet paying customer.
And now think about this community, and think about how many people in this community have done the T-Mobile test drive again and again. Because we all know people keep doing it every 3 months.
And they're slaying sectors.
but I'm supposed to respect them as a valuable MVNO. I'm sorry, I just don't, man. It's bad business.
Los, let me get you in. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, bro. So, like I've always told you, bro, I've always been to areas, bro, where Verizon has always been the only option for the last, since the 360 communication days. And bro, I bring up that AT&T works, and they're like, no, thank you. And then I'll like, hey, but T-Mobile works. They'll say there's a section that T-Mobile does work. They're like, yeah, what? It works here, and then it don't work for another 150 miles. No thanks,
Thanks,
Yeah.
Espo Tech. Appreciate the
bro.
super
And
chat. He said,
PA
get one of
Tech
those
and all them are
hotspots
my
from
winners.
Calyx Institute instead of T-Mobile Home Internet.
Yeah.
I think they should.
You're right, Los.
I think they should explore a second home internet tier that offers premium access. I mean, they could sell it for $10 or $20 more, but give a guaranteed QCI of some sort, because
Yeah, but
there are people that want 300 meg 20 down,
I dis-
300 meg down, 20 up, and they want it guaranteed.
Sneed, that makes perfect sense, and I agree with you, man. But if you
I
do
dis-
that, now you're in Verizon's
We're talking
territory
up the
from a
cost.
pricing standpoint. If you're going to do that, Verizon's got a so now you want to come into our territory where we charge when we know we have a better product. But I thought you were the cheap guy. I thought you were caring about the customer's pockets. So now you're being hypocritical.
Yeah, but they
Like,
no,
yo,
they could continue to offer whatever version the version 1.0 is.
But
right?
now the customers that have the actual lines that are paying are being upset because they're getting congested with the home internet customers.
and they have no way to offload those. They have no way to offload. Sneed, it is the biggest bubble in America right now, outside of housing or whatever else that you want to talk about from a political standpoint. It's the biggest
Why did
bubble in the
AT&T
world.
not do fixed wireless? They said it. They'll have to double their grid.
How are they gonna? So this is another question too. With the price lock, which Brian brought up a good thing about the price lock, everything. How in the hell are they gonna have money to start going back up and deploying the N77?
They're not. That's the answer. They're not going to have the money. Now, unless they go
You got
to
to
a
buy
very, very,
equipment, everything.
yeah, man. Now, unless they
Well,
go
if
into
you
debt
look-
to try to do it.
If you look where they have the licenses, it's in limited areas. Like
Yeah,
how many markets do they have 3,700 in? It's like,
That's true.
it's
They're still going to have to deploy it. They're still going to have to deploy it, though. You got to
100%, but it's not
you got to
national.
deploy it. That's true.
It's not
That's
national.
true. I don't know,
But
guys.
the
I
problem
just
is,
I don't know.
even though it's not national need, is the fact, bro, that in the areas that they do have it, labor ain't cheap, bro. In those areas, those guys get paid $50+ an hour.
I mean, that's the cost of doing business.
And that's why
the cost of everything is going up.
Yep.
Yeah, but
And that's
T-Mobile
why
just told us that they locked in deals. Remember?
Yep. And that's why I'm not mad at Verizon, AT&T at all. Specifically Verizon for holding the line on price. Nope. I'm not lowering a thing. Nope. This is where I'm at. $90. If you want a lower price, go MVNO. Because at the end of the day, they've got to be able to show some sort of return on investment for the billions of dollars they're putting out into building 5G. You can't just build it. In the LTE world, they built a great LTE network, and the only people who got paid on that network were the Netflixes of the world and all these other over-the-top carriers, all these other over-the-top companies. They got all the money off the backs of the telco, specifically Verizon, which essentially was the only company that went with LTE in the first place. I'm sure Verizon doesn't want that to happen again. So you're building out these networks and you're trying to make these, partnerships with these, content providers and with these over-the-top solutions carriers in order to be able to not have that happen again. There's got to be a return on investment for all this tremendous throughput that they're putting out there. They're not a charity. So I wouldn't lower the prices anymore either. No. This is where it is. This is where it's going to be. If you want anything lower than that, MVNO is where you got to go. And then hedge your bets by having the majority of the MVNO partnership agreements for network access. That's what you got to do.
Good conversation, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. I do have work in the morning. Got to do some bacon, bro. The SMT is going to be no Lulu burgers for us, bro. We're going to do it legit. You feel me? We only mess with the best ingredients, bro. Top shelf, you dig?
Yeah, man. I'm not mad at you, Sneed. It's been a great conversation, guys.
Yeah,
I thank you for having me on.
We might do it Sunday. I'll let you guys know. I'll get you all links to see if we could do it. And we've got a couple more topics I want to get to. There's some other things, some fiber, some ISP, and then some wireless stuff as well. So stay tuned, SMT. Appreciate you guys for being on and joining me on the panel. Carlos, EM Tech, Ashay, Brian, thank you guys very graciously for coming on and joining me. And then for everybody who offered super chats and support the channel, thank you so much. Please do like and share. And if you're new, subscribe. And then turn on the bell notification to know whenever we go live or we do drop new videos and content. I'll leave you guys with that. Have a great weekend. We shall see you all in the next edition of the SMT podcast. Peace.
Have a good night, guys.